Hello and welcome to DCP plus SideQuest. We got a ton to talk about this night.
DC Plus? Are we rebranding it? Is it DC Plus now?
DC Plus.
DC
That's
Plus.
perfect.
I like that even better. Oh, I'm changing the title. DC Plus.
Welcome to DC Plus.
That's even better. I love it.
Sounds like a new streaming, service or something.
It does.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, this is our last show before Christmas Day.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
What day is Christmas this year?
It's a
Monday.
Monday. That's weird.
Monday.
I guess that's okay.
You want them to move to a different day.
It's the least festive of days, though, really.
It is. I agree that it should be
That's
like,
true.
it's less about
That's
the date. You should just move it to this Friday, or Saturday, I guess.
Yeah. Although I suppose we get extra time off, right? Well, we don't, but
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
This time
People
off.
with
What is that?
regular
Well,
jobs, maybe?
But Christmas Eve is Sunday, so technically people who normally got their like day off or half days don't get that. So no.
That's true.
Then they're faced with like normally you get the Friday, and then it's the same thing. It's like, well, it's a half day or it's a full day. But
My kids don't like that Christmas is a Monday because that means that their Christmas break literally doesn't start until Christmas Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had to go to school this full week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Which
then they're getting
normally-
back and they're like, I need a break before Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We got to
Do your
rest a little
kids,
bit.
You gotta
while we
pre-
wake up at
break.
the crack of dawn TV on Christmas Day. They're like, we can't wait. It's gonna be the best. Or are
My
they like
daughter,
sleep
no. My daughter will sleep until you force her to get up. My son
Nice.
is the opposite. My son is like, we had to implement rules in the house to get him to stay in bed because ever since he was a baby, he's like, I don't do this whole sleep thing. It's not for me.
in? Not for me.
So he's like, we had to give him most people give their kid like here's the time you have to be in bed by. We're the opposite. We had to give my son like, here's the time that you cannot get out of bed until it hits this time of day in the morning. Because if we didn't do that, he'd be like, it's 5 a.m. and I'm wide awake. I'm going downstairs, baby. Get a snack, watch some TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the most excited person on Christmas morning by a long shot in this family.
Oh yeah.
Like by a long shot. My kids.
I find
Don't
that hard
wake
to
up till,
believe
like,
when you
1
didn't even
o'clock
know
in the
what day
afternoon.
Christmas is.
That's a good point.
You're like, I'm the biggest Christmas nerd. What day is it again? It's like 3 days from now.
But I wake up on Christmas morning. I can't wait. Like I'm like all excited. I start a fire. I like, I'm like, I'm like getting like kind of snacks ready. Like
You
I'm
like
in
a legit
it.
wood fire?
Yeah.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
I mean,
Got a nice
if I don't
fireplace?
do that, which I've failed to do it some years, like either like it's too hot outside for a wood fire to get going. I've
have that
done
problem.
the dual log 4K video on YouTube.
Oh sure.
Guys, I got a
Man.
really special present for you guys this year, though.
Okay.
It's really special. So every year, this certain website does a year in review.
Mhm.
I already know the one you're talking about because other
This-
people were talking about it.
This website is called Pornhub. And they do a year in review. They go through like all of the categories that they have, and they say like, here are the statistics of like what people looked up or watched the most. And one of those categories is, of course, video games.
Right? Yep.
I was really worried for a second that you were going to be like, so this is my year in review. I thought this was going to be like Briar's highlight.
Yeah, we don't need
My
that.
highlight reel.
I was about to say, you know what? Something came up. And
So I don't know. Do you guys want to do like a little like Family Feud kind of thing where you kind of guess
Yes.
what the highest rated
Oh.
answers are?
oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Well, I already heard some of they had from
yeah?
another show that I listened to. Yeah, so
I
I
don't-
think
I
I
don't
already
think
know
that's
the
gonna
number
work.
one,
Well,
You're disqualified.
but I can't play the game because I already know the number one. I think.
just don't guess number one.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
So let's do traffic by consoles. Who are the horniest gamers? Which console do they pick?
Oh. I mean, I feel like it's
Ooh.
PlayStation by default because there's just more PlayStation gamers, and you know that
They
they're
have a
likely
browser.
adults.
Yeah.
There's a lot
They're
of
on their
adult games.
PlayStation, like in their browser on the PlayStation.
They have a browser. That's where
Uh-huh.
they're watching what?
Yes.
On the
I bet.
PlayStation in the living
Everybody.
room for mom and dad to
Mhm.
see.
So you
Oh,
guys are
man.
right. The PlayStation 4 still rules the roost at
PlayStation
41.6. But PlayStation 5
41.6?
is coming on strong at 40.1. So they're only like 1.5% behind
Wow.
the older PlayStation 4. So I wonder if that speaks to the adoption of the new console. Like, that's pretty good. Xbox, they don't break it down between Xbox, like which Xbox you're looking at.
And one, and yeah.
So
Sure, it's just like
There's
only
too many.
16.7%. So
They're too busy being angry.
They're too busy playing Game Pass games.
Exactly.
Spending all their extra money. And then other includes 3DS and PS Vita, only 1.6%. The Vita, not getting a lot of love these days from the...
So this is people watching Pornhub on their console.
Yeah. I didn't even
So
know
there's
you
someone-
could watch Pornhub on a...
Oh,
on
they
the
actually
console.
are. I didn't even realize it. Okay.
So there's someone with a Vita out there, multiple to be a percentage.
Okay, I'm glad
I mean,
you clarified
that's
that
where you-
because I was confused as like how they were getting this data. Like, how do they know?
I thought people were voting or something.
In your profile on
No,
Pornhub,
yeah.
you have
Yeah,
to
let me
put, like,
register that I'm a PlayStation player. Yeah, gotta click that.
This is traffic per console, right? Traffic by game.
Traffic per
okay.
console.
Traffic sources on the
Wow.
P Hub. Wow. Love
The
love a
Dreamcast
breakdown.
didn't make the list.
Love
you
an
know?
analytical breakdown.
Everybody lost that
Analytical.
web
Thank you
browser
for
disk
that.
that you had to put in there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wow, someone's on the Vita. I wonder
Yeah.
who is that? If you're
Gary
out there
Diaz.
and you
His
happen
name is
to
Gary
load up
Diaz.
Pornhub
Honestly,
on your
that's a
Vita.
great idea. Nobody's going to be checking on the Vita. You know what I
Checking your
mean?
search
Like,
history
that's
on
the place.
Vita.
Yeah.
That's
Perfect.
right.
That
That
Smart.
totally does read like a teenager asked for a Vita for Christmas, and he's
Yeah.
like, "They don't know."
He's hiding on their Vita, man.
Yeah, Dad, check my phone. I've been good.
I mean, it
That's
looks great on
exactly-
that OLED screen, too, you know? Before its time.
Hmm.
Oh, man.
All right. The next one we have is the most searched video games. So this is not characters, it's just the game.
Oh.
You guys want to have
The only one I
Most
know is the
searched
character, I think.
Video
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Baldur's Gate's got to be on there
Ooh, let me see here.
this year. I mean,
It
wasn't
is,
out
but it's
the
way
whole
down
year,
the
but-
bottom of the list. I'd estimate around like
Overwatch has got to
Yeah, I was
be
going to
up
say
there.
it's Overwatch for sure.
Overwatch is
Just
sure.
always, man.
floated by its hentai community.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 was at like 20 on the list. So
Okay.
it's on the list,
Wow.
Okay.
but it's low on like
Not
the top
popular.
of
It's
the
not
list.
popular. Yeah, you just got to
Overwatch
pick the
is
most
number
popular
2
games.
on the list.
Overwatch is
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah.
Is Fortnite number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
it is.
Oh
Jeez.
man.
These are underage people.
I'll say
on
I
the
gotta think
website.
like
Probably.
I gotta think like a ravenous teenage goblin, and then I'll start.
They are not 18 plus.
But
It
there
gets
are
more
like
disturbing
lots of
from there.
characters in Fortnite, to
Oh,
be
boy.
fair.
Number 3 is Minecraft.
Oh, gosh.
These are all baby games.
And number 4 is Pokemon.
No,
No, really?
Ooh.
Yikers. To be fair, I know
Genshin
plenty of
Impact is
adults who
number
play all
6,
that
which
stuff.
should come as no surprise to anybody, I think.
That doesn't surprise me at all. It's at all.
Resident Evil is pretty high up on the list.
That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
That makes total sense.
That makes
is-
sense.
So is
Ada
Mortal
Wong?
Kombat.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're all pretty schmexy.
Melina, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I've got a grown man friend who's very into Lady Dom. So we
Oh.
actually looked into.
wow.
We actually, as a gag gift, looked into like life-size body pillows of Lady
Oh.
Dom, but they're too expensive.
Yeah,
'Cause
what
they're
kind
so
of a
big.
monster would spend that kind of money on a body pillow for a friend? You gotta be a true
Yeah,
psycho.
big body pillow, too.
Briar sent me a body pillow.
Yeah,
Things like
one Christmas. Yeah.
6
Mhm.
feet 8 of body pillow.
That's
That's
great.
a lot, man.
Cyberpunk also on the list. Street Fighter below Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Really?
was
That's
surprised.
very surprising to
That
me.
surprises
But that's by
me.
game.
Yeah.
But that is by game.
By game.
This is by
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's see what else on here. Mass Effect still pulling good weight. You know, still getting the
Really?
job
There was
done.
the remake this year, right? Was that this year?
Oh. Among Us. What is even what?
Oh, you know what it is?
What
It's
is
because someone's suspicious and you're trying to figure out who it is, and you know, that's sexy.
Is it?
is it though?
Sneaking up on people while they're doing jobs, you know?
Final Fantasy, of course. You know that's
Oh, yeah.
obvious, right? Red Dead Redemption now.
Really?
Yeah, you got cowboys.
Maybe
I
they're
guess.
sticking it to the feminists.
Hey.
What's going on now?
I mean,
Red Dead's
not
surprising.
all Pornhub users are male. We got to remember.
Red
Yeah.
Dead is surprising.
Yeah, Legend
I
of
don't
Zelda.
know anyone sexy in that game.
Are you gonna go down the whole top 100 list? We've already
No.
been 10 minutes on a P-Hub review. That's fine, but
One more before I move
It's a
on to the next
Christmas
one.
I know
show.
you have even more to do though. Yeah.
Cuphead.
No, there's not. Cuphead.
That Mugman.
What
right?
number is Cuphead?
Mugman doing it.
What number is Cuphead?
It's the last on the list, so I'm gonna guess around.
This makes
30.
me want. I want to go on Pornhub and look it all up to see what exactly is going on for Cuphead.
You do the research.
Yeah.
I'll leave
Yeah.
that to you.
That's
I'll get
usually
my
the
Vita.
effect of this.
I
is
do have a Vita.
You want to know like what is it that this stuff that people are finding in these categories?
Yeah, definitely gonna search for.
Not
some
for me.
Cuphead X Mugman. Most searched video game characters. Anybody want to hazard a guess?
I already know the answer, I think.
I have seen quite a
Widowmaker?
few of these.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
What'd you
good
say?
guess.
Who?
I said Widowmaker.
From
'cause
Overwatch.
Overwatch
Yes,
was up on the
high
list.
on the list, probably like number 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Chun-Li, number 1 on the list
Really?
Do you want to know what's worse?
from
though?
the video game Fortnite.
Uh-huh. I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
that's
was
what
like,
it was.
Chun-Li makes sense. And
Yeah.
then it said Fortnite. And I was like,
Yes, our society
Not-
has reached a new
not
low.
incorrect. That's how you know they're babies. These are children on Pornhub. Check your kids' Vitas.
Yeah,
And their
your fetus that they
3DSs.
stole from you, apparently.
That's
Yeah.
like single-handedly launching thigh fetishes across the United States and
Yeah.
beyond, right?
Definitely.
Lady Demetriou? Is that how you say her
Yeah,
name?
Lady
Is
Lady
it Dimitrescu?
Dimitrescu.
Yeah, Lady
Dimitrescu?
Dimitrescu, yeah.
Okay,
Dimitrescu.
she's at number 5 still.
Oh, I believe
Yeah?
that.
Going strong.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mhm.
Mario is at number 7.
Hmm. Curious.
He is a plumber.
People
It's
like,
a-
yeah, their pipes to be plumbed.
He's a plumber.
Say my
There's a
name.
character
Wahoo!
apparently in Genshin Impact called Slime.
Slime?
Yeah, they just took that from like Dragon Quest, probably. Is it just like that?
I
Getting
mean, a
some
lot of
searches.
Genshin characters make sense.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
Slime.
just like basically like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior Slime.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a little weird one. Little freaks.
Literally, little.
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that only people under the age of like 15 visit porn.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
I'm gonna check that.
I kind of want to know how much of the total traffic on the site is from game consoles now. Like,
Yeah, or just
Yeah.
in the. I would actually just want to know how much viewed as in the gaming category, meaning of what is
Uh-huh.
consumed, how
Yes.
much is in the video game category, because that's what we're talking about.
yeah, that would
in
be
the
fun to
characters
know,
and
too.
Yeah, like
Well, I'll
is
write
it
in.
small
I'll write
or ask them.
Next
Yeah,
time
right.
I'm
You know
visiting
what?
the site, I'll leave a comment.
Drop them an at on TikTok and X.
Can we
man.
get the Pornhub analyst on the show?
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
a
man.
score.
their data,
That
their
would
head
be a
of
score.
data? Yeah.
Yeah, their head of
I
data
mean,
collection. You know?
Frankly, that's probably one of their highest level positions, given what that site's all about. Like, you gotta be on top of that data.
Well, there you go, everyone. There's your Christmas Pornhub breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Video
were
games,
all.
porn. It's like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yep.
So, what have you guys been playing this week? Anything cool?
Well,
You
tried a new
tried
game.
Lego Fortnite yet?
No.
no.
Speaking
I've
of
been
Minecraft,
playing Division Lego.
Lego Division.
Yeah,
I get
once
what you're
you-
saying.
Yeah.
I get
or
what
once
you're saying.
human.
Yes. It's Once Human. Yeah, we talked about it last week, so I won't say much. It's just really good. It's just a really good game. And it continues to be great. It's a game that Gathalion himself has said he hasn't felt this way about maining a game since Destiny 1.
Hmm.
No.
He
I
knows
think
a
that
thing or
lasts.
two about games. So.
couple tidbits.
What's that
Yeah,
game again?
I'd-
Like, I kind of forgot what it was.
Once Human is a MMO survival third person PvPvE looter shooter game.
Okay.
Game.
Yeah, so you can craft, you can build your house, and it's actually pretty extensive what you can build, because you got like your regular stuff where you can cook and you can like make armor and weapons and stuff, but then you can collect rainwater, and you got to make sure the rainwater thing is at the top, and it's got to funnel down to a water purifier that then goes into a water collection barrel thing. So you got all that going on. You've got like it's very creepy. Because I think if you watch some gameplay, some people will be like, it kind of looks like Control. It's got like a little bit of Death Stranding going on. It's got a lot of games in one. So they've done a really, really good job with it. And you can run this thing on a potato because they plan to bring it on to mobile. So yeah, you do not need a strong computer to run this thing at all.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's really good.
How many people can you like if you were to play with buds, like really what kind of a group can you go in with?
A lot of the dungeons are like 4 players.
Okay.
But then you have like world bosses. So right now there's a world boss that's level 50. I'm level 20, so I'm not going in. But you can obviously get like the whole server to come and fight him because he shows up on the map, so everyone can go and fight him. And then they're gonna have things like raids and all that stuff, which will be more than 4 players.
I'm disappointed, Watts. I'm just saying Sunraku would take on a level 50 boss at level 20.
I could try. He's really big. I feel like he'll just look in my direction and I'll fall over. I fished today. I went fishing.
Okay.
Stormed a facility and chopped up a bunch of dudes. It's great. Got attacked by a fridge.
Playstyle wise, can you really like is there a lot of variety in terms of like the way that you could play that game? Do you pick classes and skills or how does that work?
Yeah, there's an upgrade tree. So there's an upgrade tree for like building things, but then there's also like a kind of passive traits tree that actually give you pretty extensive buffs to what you're doing. So you got that, and then you've got your weapons. Weapons have mods on them that give you various things. It's also got like attachments, so silencers and scopes and flashlights and all that stuff. They do special things, like I got an AR that sets them on fire after a certain amount of times. It's a fire rifle. So yeah, you can really craft how you want to play. You've got crossbows, hand cannons. You can catch a fish and turn it into a weapon.
You can
slap them with a fish.
people with a fish.
Yeah. And it makes you slightly insane because there's an insanity meter in the game. So if you're slapping people with a fish, you go a little bit insane, but then you do more damage the more insane you are. Yeah.
That sounds dope.
Yeah.
Fish violence is like my niche thing.
Is that what you type in the
happen to be very into fish violence? Yeah.
That's really good, man. Because you could be a player who's like, I'm just gonna spend a lot of time making the perfect mansion, and I'm gonna get a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna get materials and craft this perfect place. You could be a player that kind of just makes a little shack, but you're mostly just going and exploring. There's a lot of enjoyable things in the game. I'm excited.
The thing that you build, like your home or mansion or whatever you build, is that like potentially in jeopardy? Could other players come and ransack it and loot it?
Yeah, so there's gonna be PvP servers where it's just all up for grabs. There's gonna be fighting over territory and everything. So in full release there'll be PvP servers and there'll be PvE servers. But you can also there's a thing that you can build that you put a material in it that extracts to then turn it into a material you can use. And that is a thing that flags you for PvP. So hordes of enemies show up, but it also flags you on the map that you're doing that. So players could come and storm your house to try and steal it from you.
Really? What's the value of that resource then? Like, is it really good or something?
It's very good. So there is a wish machine that you can build in your home, and that wish machine can be used as a gacha game. So you're building a wish machine. It looks like an arcade cabinet in your home, and then you play whack-a-mole on it, and that gives you weapons and armor. Gives you weapons and armor, and that material you can use to play the little mini gacha arcade machine. So yeah, it's pretty valuable. I know you'd say this game, and I'm like, well, there in my neighborhood, there's like a bus that's got like 4 legs, and he walks around, and so he topples down, and you get on him, and you can get a chest every day. He's great. Drops off enemies. There's a giant monster thing. There's a butterfly girl that takes you to another dimension and then gets in your backpack and gives you powers. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got the creepy. So it's not just like post-apocalyptic zombies. There's a virus, very bad. It's like it's creepy and weird stuff as well, which makes me really like it.
So tell me more about this fish, though.
Yeah, you have
This
to catch
fish
the
weapon.
specific fish. Because I got the blueprint for the fish weapon, but it requires a specific fish. I don't know where to get that fish. I have to look it up.
You keep me posted on that. I'm really interested in this fish story.
I'll let you know how it goes, how much damage I can inflict with my insanity fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been playing that. I've also been playing the finals. The finals is a lot of fun. Still playing the finals.
Still into that? It
Yeah.
seems to be holding attention pretty good, huh?
It's definitely holding my attention for sure. It's a fast-paced, crazy arena shooter, which we just don't get a lot of. I'm having a blast.
Yeah. Good. That one's free to play. How do they monetize that?
Like cosmetics.
Cosmetics?
Yeah, they have a pass as well, I think.
Yeah, it's a battle pass. The battle pass gives you your money back, which we talked about extensively last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard it gives you 500 or maybe it's
it
$5
gives you
bucks
enough
more
to buy the battle pass again if you finish it.
Okay. Somebody told me it gave you a little more, and I was like, well, yeah, it's probably where it gives you enough for the pass plus just enough to not buy something in the store, so you want to spend a little bit. But,
Probably.
but either way, that's great.
Probably.
But either way, yeah, I was like, okay, it's free to play, and as long as you grind through it and enjoy it, you can just buy another pass, which is obviously very nice to see.
If you're a smart player who doesn't you don't feel the need of like, oh, I can almost get that really cool rabbit helmet or something. You can just spend $10, get a starter pack, get a bunch of skins. They give you the money back. So then you can spend that $10 on a battle pass, which then you get your money back. So then you can just buy the other battle pass, and then you're basically just recycling $10.
Do they give you your money back, or do they give you like in-game currency back?
In-game currency, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try it, but
you played an interesting game though, Fran, which I'm excited.
I played a brand new game.
About. Yeah.
What'd you play?
Yeah, Briar, you definitely want to know about this one, and you may already. I mentioned it in the past. It's Cookie Cutter. From a very small indie studio called Subcult Joint, I believe. But it's published by Rogue Co., who, just full disclosure, I have a number of friends that work there, from a couple folks from IGN, etc. But they didn't provide the key. I got it myself. It's all my own opinion. They didn't even know I was playing it. And I have no contact with the devs. But anyway, it's a full-on, hand-drawn, violent, Metroidvania. Tons of homage to Super Metroid, actually, for sure, now that I've played it. So really, I mean, it's just a very, so far, on the nose, but really beautiful hand-drawn, and very violently animated Metroidvania. So it's really cool so far. I played about 3.5 hours. And it keeps a really good clip. Yeah, I just kept moving, kept slaying. It's very fast combat. That's maybe something to make sure that you get, which is it is a very, so far it's all melee combat stuff. So it's very combo based, right? So XXXY is your special. And then you have a special meter called Void, where you're constantly consuming that. You can use it to heal yourself, or you're using it, of course, to smash through a bunch of enemies and then continue to keep that loop going. But then, of course, you get and then you get mods on top of it. So you'd be plugging in I want to get more Void from my battles, or you're like, no, I want this. I can uppercut twice now in the middle of my combo and keep the combo going. And so yeah, it's very fast paced. It is an indie game. But yeah, I think it's on sale right now for about $16 I saw on Steam. It's Steam Deck compatible, I understand, up to 120 frames a second. So that's actually really nice given how detailed it is. And according to the publisher, they say they are working on a Switch version, of course, trying to optimize. I think the window is Q1 of next year. So yeah, again, called Cookie Cutter. It's all single player as far as I know. But yeah, the coolest part is the fact that it's hand-drawn, animated, and yeah, the character, notably, just so you know, her name is Cherry. And without spoiling things, got sort of smashed to bits by a future, internet company, literally smashed to bits and then somehow reconstructed. And she has a talking vagina. And that's constantly kind of talking to you, giving you Tips. And it's very, well designed all around. So,
Briar was interested.
Regina
now
is
he's
the character.
fascinated.
Yeah.
Now he's downloading it
Yeah.
and starting it up. He's at the start
I've
screen.
always had a lot of questions. When I finally ran into a talking vagina, I've had a list of questions written down.
Yes. So you'll want to, pay attention to what Regina has to say, and maybe how Regina is designed. It's very detailed.
So it's like rated E for everyone, kind of.
But pick up some tips. Yeah, I'm sure it's rated mature. Yeah, you literally are ripping the guts out of like sort of cybernetic android robots and stuff like that. So
the animation is really incredible.
Yeah, it
Like
looks
their
awesome.
work on their art and animation is so good. I'm gonna have to check it out, even if I can just do one stream of it, because I definitely would love this.
You'd like it. Yeah, it actually, and the nice part is it gets going really fast. Like I was saying, you're kind of into it right away, and you just get a taste for the Metroidvania, and it's completely on the nose. But it has a lot of references too. It's not only, like for example, when you pull up the menu, as a huge Super Metroid fan, I literally heard the like this chorus humming in the background, which is from Super Metroid. So they literally have an homage to that. They've got a lot in that world, but then they also have a lot in the writing that apparently I saw a number of references. Like, I find your lack of faith disturbing, quotes and stuff like that are in there for pop culture fans, and more than I'm even picking up, I'm sure.
Speaking
So
of
cool,
pop culture, I haven't even played this game yet, but it is like playable. I guess they had it down at the Dominican Republic I don't know, fighting tournament. I can't remember what it's actually called this weekend, but it's called Knockoff. This game is insane because imagine you take all of your 80s like figurines, like action figures from the 80s, and they were in like a fully featured awesome fighting game. Like, and
like Stretch Armstrong,
like more like He-Man and Skeletor and the Ninja Turtles and like that, but they're all like the name of the game, Knockoff, is like these are knockoffs of those guys, right? So they're not it's not the Masters of the Universe, it's Lord of the Universe, right? And
sure.
so it's they don't have to deal with like the copyright stuff, but they got like a Voltron, they got a Ninja Turtle, they got He-Man and Skeletor.
Space Ghost?
I don't know. I haven't seen him yet, and the game's not out yet, and they've only showed I think like 4 characters. But it's like you're playing like on a kid's desk with like all his like junk around, or you're playing in the yard.
Oh, sure.
Like that's your fighting game, like arena. But and the toys look like plastic toys, right? They actually look like you're using a He-Man, but they're animated like fighting game characters. So it doesn't look like it's gonna be like stiff or like kind of wonky. It looks like it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I was looking right now. Like one dude looks straight up just like He-Man, basically, and the other one looks kind of like
Did they throw in
a
some
Transformer.
I was gonna say like Transformers were huge. Transformers action figures, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, go.
That's why it's called Knockoff. Nice.
Yeah, I feel like you could just keep adding characters to this. Hopefully,
definitely. Yeah.
No shortage of content there for sure.
Yeah.
Feels like they're gonna
G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was huge back then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's got to be a tough line to walk. Is calling it Knockoff, making a character that's clearly a ripoff of like He-Man or whatever, but then making sure not to piss off, Mattel or whoever it is. Must be interesting to make.
Isn't it like
to do that as an indie is tricky?
Aren't there different parody rules? Like if you specifically label something as parody, doesn't that?
If it's a parody, yeah, but a parody, I believe and it's interesting when you get into that law. It's got to. I mean, it has to have like a commentary. A parody cannot just be like, no, it's just a joke. And it's like, okay, what's the commentary? What's the joke? I believe, when you look up like copyright, it's a guidance too. I had to take a couple courses on that as I produced like video around like trying to avoid DMCA type stuff. And that I remember was very specific. Like you can't, because people will say, oh, it's just a parody. And you're like, how? And then they're like, well, it's just a joke. It looks like, and you're like, but that's not enough. So what's the parody?
Sure.
So, but yeah, maybe they somehow are doing stuff around that too. But yeah, I wouldn't know it was as little as I touched it. Like, how do you make, like, clearly that looked a lot like He-Man. I mean, I think you can make a blonde-haired hero with like the same type of armor. I mean, You
Yeah.
just can't
Yeah,
call
He's
this is
it.
basically naked. He's got like
Yeah.
a tidy whitey on.
Yeah, but I think where you can't call it like he something.
It's just
Yeah.
man.
Probably you may be able to.
Man.
You may be. I'm just saying. I think
Man.
that's where it gets
I'd call him Panty Boy. That's what I call him.
man thing. Yeah, I
boy.
think you could do that. You could probably call it man thing, but if you
He's
call
just-
it
he, him.
That would be good. I'd like that.
That would
That would be
great, man.
amazing.
That's right
like
for
that.
parody. That's pretty good. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Knockoff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looks cool.
Neato.
I'm really looking forward to. There's a couple of games I got my eye on that are in development that are slated to release. They said like late 2023, early 2024.
Okay.
So I'm like chomping at the bit, like please drop it anytime now. One of them is Nightingale. I don't know if you've seen anything about
Yes.
Yes,
Nightingale.
I have
I'm
seen this.
so jazzed about Nightingale, but almost like this steampunk goes fantasy kind of an
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
And one of the things I love about that, I'm a huge fan of the survival genre. And they are decidedly survival genre, but one of the things that they're doing specifically is trying to compensate for one of the biggest weaknesses in the survival genre is really story, like narrative.
Mm.
There's a lot of times you play survival games, it's like, okay, I just load up this world, the story sucks,
wow.
but hey, I get to craft things and build things, and that's kind of cool. But
Oh, that
they're
looks
going
neat,
like
yeah.
they're going full hard into story and narrative and story progression as part of that survival genre. So it looks great. The idea of like going through. By the way, sorry if you hear my wife through the
Mm.
mic. I see my mic lighting up when she gets animated. She's playing Baldur's Gate right now.
Oh,
But,
wow. man.
Anyways, yeah,
They
it
call
looks
it
super
gas
cool. Like
lamp fantasy.
Gaslamp Fantasy. That's right.
Gas
But you like
lamp,
go
I
through
like
these
that.
portals that sort of dictate what the procedurally generated world is going to be like, and it kind of reminds me of Remnant too in that regard. Like you have these different universes that are drastically different
Yeah.
within this genre that's sort of Souls-like. It's kind of like that, but with the survival genre. Looks super cool. The other
It
one
does
I'm
look cool.
really interested in is sort of inspired by the like thinks Pixar Up. You remember the movie Up? They kind of go to this
I remember crying.
adventure, and, the dodo birds and all that stuff. So it's called Under a Rock, and it's a small studio, but it's going to be on Unreal Engine 5,
Mm.
and it's got that Up sort of Pixar theme inspired, and it looks gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But another survival genre game.
Oh, wow.
And it's sort of a labor of love for those folks. So I've been following that as well. I've talked with some of the devs a little bit too, and I would definitely keep an eye out for that because that's just going to be just a gorgeous experience, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that is a
Fortnite
striking
meets
look.
Up.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks neat.
Really pretty.
Yeah, for 1 to 10 players, I believe it says.
Yeah. I think they show this at the Game Awards. I remember
think
seeing
so.
this trailer somewhere.
Sure,
I
it
don't
was
think
just
they
a
showed it at the Game
Fortnite,
Awards.
one of
Recently.
Fortnite's 7 trailers that was shown because it might be something like that.
And I remember the main character, and I was like, "Oh, she kind of looks like Lara Croft." And then, like,
Oh.
Yeah, it has that
Yeah.
sort of Tomb Raider vibe too. Yeah.
Maybe.
oh, very cool.
Um,
I'm upcoming games for me. Probably the next one is going to be Prince of Persia.
Sure.
Some people were able to give their thoughts on it in video form recently. So I was watching Skill Up's video where him and his editor got to play like 2 different parts of the game, and they both love it.
They did?
Both
Good.
as Skill Up, who has played all of the Prince of Persias, and his editor, who hasn't played any, and both of them really loved it. It looks so good.
It's always like I always use that as a litmus test, honestly. Like Skill Up can be
Yeah.
hypercritical. So if he's like, I'm vibing with this, then I tend to put a lot of stock in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
just-
for the
I
new
like
Prince.
it looks great. Yeah, it looks really good. It's the visuals look great, combat looks great. Yeah, I'm gonna have a good, and it's like a Metroidvania.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
looking
some
forward
people might forget it's like that is where it started, as a 2D platforming, adventuring, action game, and like I know people are excited for like a new Prince of Persia in full 3D, etc. But like, in other words, I feel like sometimes the commentary here feels like it's taken away, and you're like, but this is Prince of Persia. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're taking some new things into mind here with the new one. But it's looking really nice, and I'm really glad that they made it. In other words,
Are
right?
people
Like,
upset that it's not a 3D game? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so, but I feel like they're right. Don't you hear that tone in
Yeah,
the air? It's like,
the
oh, well, it's just 2D,
discourse
and you're like, what?
was that they were remaking Prince of Persia as a 3D, like brand new. It's a Prince of Persia game, but they're remaking it to be a 3D game. So
Isn't that
that's
still
been
game still
through.
getting made?
It is still getting made. It's been
Okay.
through a lot of development issues. So when people saw the announcement for a Prince of Persia game, I think they were expecting to hear about that one, and then
Okay.
they heard
Yeah.
about this brand new one that's being made by, someone else, and that kind of soured people's reactions to it. But
Mm.
I've heard that the combat is really, really good, and from trailers it looks incredible. So I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
great game.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it, like stylistically, it pulls a lot from like the Sands of Time era of Prince of Persia, but going into like a 2D, like Metroidvania kind of world looks great. And like that is, like
It
Fran
does,
said,
yeah.
where it started, right? It's like in that, although those that original game is hard to go back to. That was like
I mean, it's a
super
long time
animation
ago.
priority. Like you
Yeah.
had to like back up a certain amount from a jump and then like time it so your
Yeah.
steps hit right on the edge of the jump to make it over.
Yeah.
There were spikes everywhere. Like, oh, you just died a ton. It was almost like a puzzle game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it was
that
beautiful.
one's it's very old one. I mean, that's when, like, I don't know how much longer after, like, Adventure, which was a game, for example, like, it was in that era at least.
Good point.
So that's just how stuff was then.
Yeah,
Now you got me wondering the years on that, but
it had to be the 80s, like the mid 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, my first Prince of Persia game was
1989
Sands of
maybe.
Time, so I think that a
Sands of
lot of
Time was
people,
good.
yeah, a lot of people like me were probably thinking, "Oh, Prince of Persia, I remember that." You're thinking,
Yeah,
not your 2D side scrolling stuff. But
Yeah, I mean, 89 was pretty advanced. I might be wrong about that.
it was 89.
Like,
when
yeah,
it came out.
Adventure was like 80. And I guess that is a long time between, but
What's really exciting about what they were saying about the combat for this new Prince of Persia is that they were loving the combat and found it like pretty advanced and you could do a lot before they introduced the time mechanic into the game.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, if people are loving your combat before you even get to the more complex stuff, that's great.
Mhm. Yeah, the boss battles they even showed in the trailers early on, I thought looked really dope. So looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, like having come off similarly, maybe like Metroid Dread. Again, you could look at it and be like, oh man, like I really want Metroid Prime, which is true, and I prefer that now, by the way, as a huge fan. But Dread was really cool. Took a little bit to get going and getting chased down. But man, that game's really, really good. So I'm holding out the same hope for Prince. Looks good.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get
Dread
into
2 before we get Prime.
I mean, it is.
right,
Don't say that.
you heard
I mean,
me.
I would just be happy. I would be more than happy if Metroid Prime 4 was like deliberately delayed into the next era of the Switch, right? Like I always, every generation, and I think many Nintendo fans do this, you hold out hope that just delay Zelda, right? Just like I'd rather have Tears of the Kingdom at 60. I would. I'd rather have waited 100%.
No, I
But
get it, yeah.
I totally, there's 100 million Switches out there. Like, you're going to sell to 100 million people, and they sure did. Probably 15, 20 million now or whatever. But
yeah, they have no regrets.
yeah, I mean, that's just the economics of it. But anyway, I would be more than happy if Metroid Prime 4 was like, oh, it's coming like a year after Switch comes out when it's totally optimized and it's like the best looking game on the next Switch that is. Instead of, at this point, I'm like, I don't want it right now. At the end of Switch's life cycle, when I'm playing Pikmin, by the way, like, which is an awesome game, but man, the load times, I don't know if I brought it up the last show, but that's where it shows its age the most. I'm like, dude, just like, it's not even that much, but there's enough loading and stuff that I could imagine now on a sort of PS5 level. I'm like, this would be so awesome.
Yeah.
And Nintendo doesn't like load times. That's why they originally had cartridges for so long. So
that's right.
You know what else grinds my gears? So yeah. I'm not even going to get into most anticipated. There's so many games that I have to
There's
play.
a lot. There's a lot of most anticipated.
There's so much good stuff coming up, but I'm actually on the opposite end where, like Watts is like, you try once human, and I'm like, I know, I want to try finals, and I'm like, I just can't. I'm literally like horse blinder. Like, I can't stop it. Stop putting this other shiny things in front of me, or I'm never gonna get
Well,
into
what's
stuff.
up next for your backlog, Fran?
Well, I want to finish Alan Wake 2.
That's
And
next on my list. Yeah.
I've already made it like 10 hours into it, but like literally what just happened, right? Oh, by the way, I beat Hi-Fi Rush. I should talk about that. Hold on, I gotta make a little time note here. Really fast. I probably mentioned I was playing Hi-Fi Rush, but I actually beat it. And the one thing I just want to put out there is Hi-Fi Rush goes from being a really kind of awesome looking, charming. I even made commentary. I'm like, yeah, it seems like a cool like indie, and it is, but man, it really ramps up on the latter half. There's so much explosive like action and animation, and it's hard. I mean, I did play it on hard, but even then, it's like a hard game keeping the time and your combos. And like what they do in the end is visually really cool with from all the bosses to the level design. Like it's packed in the latter half or the latter third. So all I can say is like, don't like if you're like, yeah, it's kind of neat, I should maybe play it. Like it's worth it. Just go the whole distance because it's so cool towards the end, and the story and the writing is really good. So Hi-Fi Rush, big thumbs up, having beaten it now. And so much replay value, by the way. I would say about if you're looking for a great holiday gift and anyone likes games like that, like that's a huge one. There is so much replay value from the collectibles to just literally replaying it, having because there's so much to learn and do. But then they unlock modes and arcade modes and all this stuff that they've added on top of after the game came out even. So yeah, just huge, amazing effort from the teams on that one.
Is that
Nice.
locked to Xbox or is it on PC as well?
Oh, it's on PC. That's where I
It
played
is
it.
on
Yeah,
PC.
so I played it
Okay.
via Game Pass on the Xbox
PC.
app. But yeah, I believe you. I don't know if it's on Steam, in other words, but like you can get it on PC or Xbox. Yeah.
Okay.
Banger. But anyway, I got off track because I was saying like I have so much else to play. Alan Wake's on there, but I actually have to finish Starfield. We were talking to TV about this, and he can sure relate, I bet. But I got to the end, and then I was like doing all this other stuff, and I'm like, well, I'll beat it when I feel like it. I haven't beaten it yet, and they've patched in stuff, right? So now is probably a good time. So
I've got about 300 hours into that game. I put a lot of time into Starfield. Yeah. Like 3 different characters. I really like to lean into the like role playing side of things with RPGs, which I think I think most people don't. I think most people are like, I'll play the game and I'll just get all the stuff and I'll do all the things. And I'm like, no, my character would never do that. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a kid from the streets of freaking Neon City growing up around drug dealers. Like, why would she ever get a penthouse in New Atlantis? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So like, so for me, like that's how I play those games. I tunnel vision into a specific play style, and while like I may find the most OP gun in the game, it's like, well, that's not the kind of thing that my character does. They do melee combat, so I throw it in the trash, and then I make a different character that is a gun nut, and then I use that thing. You know what I mean? So that's why I've got so much time into that game, is because I've got so many characters who are doing it in different ways, and I actually did not like, as much as I like Starfield, I did not like the new game plus system in that game.
Well, I don't know what it is yet, so
because I feel like it invalidates role playing, and it's a role playing game. It's an RPG, and they're like, yeah, but then you can reset your world and do it a different way and make different decisions. I'm like, but when I made in character creation my person, I had a certain thing in mind for them. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm not the biggest fan of the new game plus system.
What's it do exactly? What's the new game?
You basically, I mean, just like in most games that have an NG plus system, you just get to wipe the slate clean. It's like a game with multiple universes. So the whole idea of NG plus is that you end your playthrough. Yeah, and you may have built a mansion, you crafted a mansion, you built yourself this awesome space on a planet, and you've made all these choices, and in most RPGs you have to live with those choices. That's part of role playing. You trust the die, that kind of a thing. So you get to basically hop to a new universe, but at the beginning of your journey for your character all over again. And then you can do whatever you want, marry somebody else and explore, build on a different planet, and side with the bad guys this time, whatever you want to do.
But it begs the question, right, of like, I totally get what you're saying on the RPG side. But would you have kept playing without that new carrot on the stick? Like, what would you have wanted it to be then? Like,
Oh,
in
100%.
other than your mansion just sitting there, like, what would you have wanted it to do? Like, just not wipe the slate clean, but then what? Just give you.
Play a different character. Start a brand new character, from the ground up and replay it in that capacity. It's
But you
interesting.
can
asked
do that. So what would be different about it in your version of it?
So this is interesting. There's this big trend that happened recently in the Bethesda gaming sphere, where
Okay.
this was a big trend on Reddit and on YouTube and these communities that are still playing older Bethesda titles. One of the things that they did was you would retire a character. So you would go back to a character that you built. You went through a journey with them. You lived in their shoes in Skyrim or in Oblivion. Maybe you built a home on a hilltop or on a lakeshore manor in Skyrim. And this is what they would do. They would retire their character. So they would walk through their home. They would look at the loot that they collected, kind of reminisce on their character's journey. Lay down in the bed that they crafted for themselves, and then delete the character and retire them, and sort of give them a
Delete
bit
the
of
character.
like a
Delete 'em.
Viking. It's almost like a
Yeah,
Viking funeral kind of a
exactly.
theme. And it was a huge trend in the Bethesda universe, and it really caught on. And it was great because people got to go back to games they played 10, 20 years ago with, playing Oblivion and stuff like that, and retiring these characters and remembering the journey they had with those characters. And so the NG Plus system, I feel like it just sort of invalidates that a little bit. It takes some value away from that journey because then you just wipe the slate clean. It's all gone. It's in the past. It's history. And you pick it up brand new with the same character. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So for a
yeah.
lot of role-playing people, NG Plus, it's like, well, we were already doing that, but in a way that was more meaningful. We can
Right.
craft a brand new identity, a brand new person from the ground up and live in their shoes. So I don't know. It's a bit
Interesting.
nerdy, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know the details, but like I do know some people who loved that side of it, and so yeah, I think it's definitely going to come down to, like you said, how you tend to play these types of games. Did you play Cyberpunk out of curiosity, TV?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was a believer in Cyberpunk from launch, actually.
But did you play like Phantom Liberty now and like the full?
I haven't actually made it
2.0?
all the way through Phantom Liberty, but I did play a bit of the 2.0 update when
Oh,
it
okay.
first dropped. But
Nice.
yeah, I loved Cyberpunk. Like I
Okay.
did one character that I did, and that was no gun playthrough.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, all mantis blades and katanas. It's super fun.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, if comparing RPG stuff, like I just played those two next to each other, and I mentioned it every show, so I won't get into detail. But Cyberpunk's incredible and such a killer RPG of this
Oh,
generation.
100%.
By comparison, like Starfield needs some work. I like Starfield, but Cyberpunk got 3 years of work, and you see where it's at now.
One of my favorite Cyberpunk memories was the day that I was live streaming Cyberpunk, and this never happens. But in my chat, this is like first time chatter shows up. It's like, "Hey Ryan, it's me, my father-in-law, Steve." It's like, this is the day you choose to come in here. Just thought I'd show my support and see what you're doing today. And so I just drove around the city for like half an hour.
You're
while
like,
he was in there. I
it's
couldn't
a very
do anything.
violent game, man.
I couldn't do anything in the game. Just driving around town for half
Even
an hour.
driving around in the game, like people were saying stuff, and like,
Yeah, I was like, I turn the volume down. And...
That's funny. Not the most wholesome of games.
No, as it turns out.
There was kind of a fun post on in Destiny on the TWAB this week. Not a lot of news. What's that?
There was no TWAB. There was no TWAB today.
What? There wasn't? Is this last week's
No.
TWAB I'm looking at? Oh, it is last week's TWAB I'm looking at.
I'm
Dang.
gonna make a note of that. Last week's TWAB with Briar.
Did we talk about this last week then? Because there's this
niche audience just looking for week-old twin videos.
Yeah.
Briar's got you covered.
There was this little part of last week's TWAB that went over like
Cookies?
like stats for the game, like how many people did what. Did we talk about that later?
Oh yeah, no, we
think so.
barely touched on. But you talking about like Fireteam Finder? Like
No,
that
it was
was
like
one
a
of
wrap
the
up,
stats.
kind of like the Pornhub wrap up that we did earlier, but for Destiny.
Okay, We didn't talk about it either way.
I thought it was kind of fun. So they mentioned like during the crafting, there were 2.8 million weapons crafted during the crafting. I can't say that word.
Crafting.
Of which 559K were Amit AR2.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks,
That's
TV.
Hey, I was in the middle of my break. I didn't play.
You didn't do that one? Okay. Thanks,
I didn't play the
Fallout.
crafting.
One of them did it.
Crota's End had 16.4 million attempts by 1.1 million Guardians and 6.2 million clears by 690K Guardians.
That's a lot of Guardians. 1.1 mil.
That is. That's a lot
Rating.
of failed attempts, though, too.
It is a lot of failed attempts. Yeah.
Losers, morons.
Ruin Nightmares got 28.7 million attempts by 1.6 million Guardians and 14.8 million clears by 1.2 million Guardians. Much better clear rate there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a bit easy.
TV, you mentioned this out before the show. Warlord's Ruin only had 4.9 million attempts by 687K Guardians.
Oh, it just came out though.
Yeah, so to be fair, it did just come out. And if this TWAB is a week old now too, it means invalidating the stuff that's happened in the recent week too. But yeah, obviously the biggest chunk I think of your dungeon attempts at least come on that first initial drop week.
I would think
I
so.
would assume. But yeah, I mean, I think our numbers in general are kind of low right now with Destiny. Which
This
is
is
too
a
bad.
segue to TV's video that he posted.
Oh, did you watch? Did you?
I was
Did you like
watching.
and comment on it?
I always like.
Yeah. Yeah, which is too bad because I think that the season, personally, I don't think that the season's too bad actually.
No,
I
the season's pretty good.
Coil is fun. I don't play seasonal activities, but I play Coil. I think Coil is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just some minor stuff here and there. I think it's just the fatigue setting in for folks probably with the seasonal model. A lot have been there, done that kind of attitude. Even if it's good, like if you like, sometimes I meal prep. And I love chili, and I make chili for the whole week, and I have chili for lunch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday. By Sunday, I'm kind of chilied out. You know what I mean? Even if chili's real good, and that's how I feel like people are kind of feeling with the Destiny seasonal model right now too. It's like even when it's good, I've had it for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm on Saturday, Sunday now, and I'm kind of tired of it.
That's a great way to put it, by the way. Yeah, it does. I haven't thought to put it that way, but it's not like it's a bad meal, man. It's just you've been eating it for years now, and
it's been years of chili.
You're right. We do need to change up. Bungie's acknowledged we need to change up, and we're waiting on it. But it's not like it's bad. It's just maybe you should take a break from chili. Great way.
Because it's like it's this we've kind of been seeing it with these seasons since Lightfall because they've actually all been pretty decent seasons. Like they've been decent ones, and this one in particular is pretty good. We've got an interesting story. We've got a character we like. We've got an exotic mission which we can talk about. We've got like a bunch of stuff that's good, but because it doesn't matter, we're at the point now, unfortunately for Bungie, doesn't matter how good the content you make is for seasons. People are just more over it than they have been before.
Yeah.
So
you know me. People, I just there's some hardcore players, right? They're like, God, this season's such trash, and it's been washing over me for 9 years, man. Like, meaning from the game's start, it's always like they're burnt out, they're tired of it, and yet you continue to play. And like, I get that. But that's what I'm like, please. You got to take a break. And I've even said it now. I'm like, please delay the final shape even further. Like, I personally want that break, but I think you do have these addicts out there that just keep eating chili. You're like, you need to take a break, man. We're taking it away from you.
Cutting you off, bro.
Whether or not that's good for, their revenue, the development, like all of the complexities of keeping a live service game going, like just on the flat out like fun side, I'm like more than happy to take a break. I got all these great games to play. Makes me happy. And like Warlord's Ruin is the big thing that I jump in and I do play. And I'm like,
it's good too.
Yeah, we played.
Yeah, it's real cool.
It's fun. And that's the stuff I really chew on no matter what. It's I did feel that as well though. I'm like, okay, the dungeon model is even starting to be like, okay. But part of that is like enemies, part of that is weapons, part of that's powers. And So they've got a lot of work to do to mix things up, and when
Yeah,
to
they
end
have.
this thought, when people say I want Destiny 3, I'm like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the final shape. You just what you do with it, the new enemies, the new
Yeah.
things to engage you. That's where you can really mix it up.
Yeah. This week was pretty good though. This week had a pretty interesting story in it. They launched the exotic mission to get the exotic bow, which is a new bow that people seem to be enjoying. And I have not played Crucible since it came out, but I'm a little scared too.
You don't need to be.
Well,
I
Don't need
saw
to be
this.
scared.
so if you suspend someone,
saw
you
this.
can one-shot them with the bow. And it doesn't need to be a suspension
free snipe.
from the bow.
Yeah.
It can be a suspension from anywhere. So if you're a
Surely.
hunter, you can run double suspension grenades. You can run the
Yeah.
you can run
But
the
usually,
dodge,
if a hunter hits
the
me with
aerial
a
attack.
suspension grenade, they're gonna kill me anyway. It's gonna shotgun
Maybe.
me. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
I played some trials. Watts.
You did, yeah.
Watts
Fran
was
got into
partly
some
responsible.
trials. I was, because I
Pushing it.
played a lot of trials the last time because
Was
the
it
trace
good for you?
rifle- Yeah, I actually had a fine time. I initially
I
was
did
a little
too.
scared because I was like, "Ooh, this is a little rough." But then it got fine, and I
Yeah.
went flawless, and then I was winning like a fair amount, getting a lot of trace rifles.
Yeah,
so
it was a pretty chill weekend of trials. I was actually
it was for
pleasantly
me.
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I played with some very high skill players, so they made it easy on me. But you
You
know, it's
played
a
with
map.
Briar?
Yeah, exactly. It was Briar and I out there. Yeah, sure. But yeah, no. Shout out to Ken Cocoon, who's always in Watts'
Yeah, I
stream
know
and
Ken, yeah.
they stream. Yeah, so it was them and another friend they had. But yeah, I mean, we kept going. It's not like I didn't start to carry my weight a little bit, but I just don't play that often anymore, so I didn't have a build. But yeah, got a bunch of trace rifles. It was chill. But yeah, I personally, with all the changes with trials, I still am never that compelled to jump in without that carry. In other words, maybe Fireteam Finder will provide some options in the future, but without this assurance of like, okay, I got somebody who knows what they're doing, who can keep me from dying and getting farmed. I usually only have a fun time when I'm playing with somebody else who's pretty good.
That trace rifle's got a lot of interesting and good perks on it. So I was farming. I wanted Slice. 'Cause Slice is just really great. You know, use your
Yeah.
class ability and then it will sever targets. So for the build that I really like using on my hunter is one where I make Beyblades, make tangles, destroy them, the spinny Beyblades. And if you
Yeah.
have Slice, you have so many ways to make tangles. So many. So I went back to Dragon Shadow because obviously you dodge, Dragon Shadow kicks in, you get Slice, bada bing. Yeah, it was I was really wanting a good roll. I got a Slice roll pretty early, but my second one was really bad. So I wanted like Slice or Hatchling just because that's fun.
Yeah, I would've loved
Slice
that.
tap the trigger, Slice Encore. Like I was happy with any of those. So
Yeah,
I played
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of trials.
say I got a Slice Encore, and I was like, actually, that sounds pretty decent for PvE. Am I right about that? Like Slice and Encore.
That was my
There-
PvP roll.
There's some compelling
Oh,
slice
you like for
builds
PvP
already.
as well?
Yeah, for PvE.
Yeah, PvE you've got like Envious Assassin. You can get that on there, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, there's a really good PvE and PvP rolls for that trace. And it's Strand, and if you put Strand stuff in the game, I get a little excited. So
For
it's
like
really
Yeah.
majors and bosses, you can always there's the like slice killing tally, or not killing tally. Slice target lock is a really good roll for taking out like majors and stuff. Cut their damage by severing them, and then also ramping up damage output against them, which is great.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a couple target lock rolls, but nothing with Slice other than that one. So some good options. And I got one with it rolls with attrition orbs. I keep bringing this up, but I feel like attrition orbs has good potential. I don't know for sure, but seems like you could do something good with attrition orbs on it. Like Slice and
In
attrition
PvE,
orbs, like
yeah.
probably. Yeah, I'm a PvE player, I should say. I'm never talking about PvP rolls. But yeah, if people don't realize, right, it is, I mean, it's the only trace rifle outside the Navigator from the last dungeon. That's Strand, right? So believe that's true, right? So that's why you want it. So you can have a PvE legendary.
It kills really fast.
Yeah.
It kills really freaking fast.
I use Navigator all the time from the last dungeons. First of all, go use Fireteam Finder. Go get that. Hopefully, maybe that's a way to get it, or just solo it, But Strand trace rifles are really nice. That's all I'm trying to say.
Did you
That's
see the lore this week?
No.
I didn't.
Riven's
Missed this
got a
week.
baby daddy.
She do got a
who's the
baby daddy.
Is it Shax?
Shaxx and
No,
a
I don't
dragon.
know I don't know if they like Shax very much due to
Oh.
him
I don't-
doing
yeah,
the
I don't
whole
think they're
car
friends.
hunt thing.
Forgot about that. Why you gotta talk about old shit?
Yeah, like, it'd be like, would you be friends with me, Briar, if I had like the corpse of one of your family members hanging over me every time we did the podcast?
No.
Probably not. He had to think about it. He's like, well, which family member specifically?
Yeah, it was there was a really good cutscene. So the whole exotic mission is kind of telling the story of Riven and her mate, because this season is about finding these eggs and kind of bringing Ahamkara back by finding these eggs. So yeah, they was telling the story of how how do eggs get made when you're in Ahamkara? How do they happen? Well, you need a mate. So they're telling the story of the mate, and Riven really appreciated this Ahamkara because he was very selfless. And so Ahamkara do this whole thing of like, yeah, you can give me your wish and your desire, but I'm going to twist it to make it, so that's like the monkey paw thing, right?
Sure.
There's Mylan. And and her mate though was like, about that. I can just give people their wishes, I don't really need to bamboozle people. And then with his final wish, so we also found out that Ahamkara, I don't know if we knew this before, but we found out that Ahamkara can grant their own wishes, but it essentially kills them. So his final wish was to hide the eggs so that the eggs could remain. Because the whole great hunt happened, Guardians were hunting Ahamkara. They brought an extinction to the Ahamkara. So yeah, his final wish, he wished to hide the eggs. It was really sad because like it tells you the whole story of like the great hunt and like they took Riven and kept her captive to keep her safe, but they were actually just using her for wishes.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It's kind of like
like making Mara seem evil.
Are we the baddies?
Definitely the bad guys. We're certainly the bad guys. Yep. So that was the story of and you got the bow. The bow is, what's the bow's called?
Wishkeeper?
Wishkeeper. Yes.
Huh.
Wishkeeper.
So you have wish. Does it have any?
Wishkeeper.
Yeah, I was like, this is where I know. I just don't know the lore at all. But I'm like, wait, last wish? You said that their final wish is their last. Is that have anything to do with that? And then I'm like, wish ender, wishkeeper.
Well, Wish Ender, we got was it the catalyst that you had to shoot the eggs with Wish Ender to get the catalyst? So we were ending wishes with Wish Ender, and
sort
then
of the antithesis. Yeah, the Wish Ender is sort of the antithesis to the Wishkeeper then.
Yeah. So it was a really good, there was an ink block cutscene. It was really kind of nice to see more about the Ahamkara and see them just frolicking in the wild before the Guardians destroyed all of them.
Not covered in taking pus bubbles.
Yeah.
Reading what Mylan is saying in chat.
Yep.
He's had a few drinks on his Xmas stream, I believe.
Yes, Mylan isn't here because he is doing he's got a night without the kid. So Leo's out partying, causing all sorts of trouble. So Mylan and
Australian
Danny,
kind of trouble is a different kind of
his
trouble
wife,
too.
Yeah, you gotta look out for that.
They're doing their Christmas stream.
Yeah,
They're doing the Christmas stream.
Wants you to know that Riven is getting to that Ahamkara ussy.
Yep.
I just want everybody
I
to
would have
know.
said Aham Kussy, but
yeah, it's a little too close. Sounds a little more PG to say the whole thing.
I need better friends.
Yeah, you really do. God bless him. So Riven's baby daddy, the exotic mission.
You get a bow, it's a strand bow, it suspends.
Man, yeah, I just love strand weapons. I was going to ask you, does anyone recall because it's been a few moments where they actually weaved this week's story into the exotic mission as like a step. Did they do that this week? Do you know? Because I like that. They do?
Yes, you have to be caught up with the story to do the exotic mission. It's part of it.
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be like comments that are like, they've been doing that for years, Fran. And I feel like there was only one where they did it well. That's all I can. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, oh, it brought me in. It felt. That's what I often talk about the most with seasons is like the pacing and the feeling. And we talked about it last week about it's like go to the radio, go to the hologram, go see Mara, and you're literally just taking sort of known steps. And then it's like, all right, just go to the coil. And then it's like, well, this week's mission. Oh, unique mission. No, it's just the coil. And that's one thing I don't like about this season. It just feels, I like the coil, but everything feels sort of predictable, repetitive. Seasons that I've talked about that I really like. Season of the Lost, getting sort of power upgrades to explore this realm, and then really running the gauntlet is how I always describe it in Season of the Splicer with third person moments. And there was something about those paces that I really liked.
Yeah, you remember like Season of the Forge, like because we had like the Volunder Forge, and then you went to the like every week it took you to a different location. You know what I mean? And it made sense. I really liked that progression, and it led up to what was the name of the final forge that you had to do the puzzle to get into? Do you remember that one?
I know. In the EDZ?
Niobe Labs.
Niobe Labs.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I liked that sort of a progression for the seasonal content too. And I do agree with you as much as I do like the coil, like nothing changes week to week. It's
so
not like
far,
you're going to a new environment. Not going to a new environment or anything like that. Other than obviously the exotic mission, which did look really cool. The whole Black Garden vibe was really cool. I did appreciate that. But.
Yeah, Black Garden.
So it's a good mission. I mean, does it feel like you're just doing Garden of Salvation and reverse kind of thing? Or like,
it has its own mechanic. Sort of like, the dungeon has a simple mechanic that's repeated throughout all of it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. There's a simple mechanic to it. But the skybox is beautiful. Locations are pretty.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been trying to keep up. I have been playing every week, actually, and just funnily enough, this week I was playing Halo Infinite, and then that cookie cutter game. I guess I needed a little bit of that break. We got, 6 months to wait, so I'll get to it.
I'm downloading that cookie cutter game like immediately.
Yeah, that game you'll like it. You really like it, Briar.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks very good.
I've never gotten to talk to a vagina either. I'm really looking forward to it.
So you come here often?
Do you know that city in Canada named Regina?
Mm-mm.
If y'all don't know this, do yourself a favor.
No.
There's nothing dirty about this. Look on YouTube for Experience Regina song.
Let me get my Vita out before I search this.
Experience Regina. There are people in chat and comments. Leave it in the comments. You already know if you're from Canada. I'm not. I just know a number of Canadians. But the best part is the city, which this song is about. I believe it was Mick Jagger that visited there and also says he did a concert there or something that it was a memorable quote that he's like, Regina, the city that rhymes with fun. I always remember, if your name is Regina, I just can't not think of that.
Yeah.
I like it.
I believe it was Mick Jagger. So.
Should we do some Twitter questions?
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bring those bad boys up.
Actually, why you do that, one quick check was I was pretty sure nobody else got back in to try more Fireteam Finder in Destiny 2.
I haven't tried any Fireteam Finder.
But just an update while Briar maybe checks on that. But I went back, I did more. And I can say, doing the dungeon is like the hot thing, and that felt a lot easier. I realized that definitely there's just work to be done in terms of like what tags mean. You realize how challenging it is. Like there's a tag called Final Checkpoint, and there's another one called Offering Final Checkpoint. Now, what do you guys think, as an example, those two tags mean?
Offering Final Checkpoint, I would assume that someone has the final checkpoint and they are giving it to someone.
Now, are they just standing there, or can you do it with them and do the final checkpoint? You see what I mean?
I wouldn't expect for them to do it necessarily. Just that they're just there handed off.
I think so. They're just standing there like the D2 checkpoint bot that went down, by the way. And then you have final checkpoint. Now, my question is, if it says final checkpoint, are you looking for final checkpoint, or are you at the final checkpoint?
Oh, I don't know.
There's no other tag other than there is like sixth encounter, and there's other things that you can put in there to try to figure out. But anyway, I'm not knocking it. It's actually really cool. I honestly will say, like, I have never seen this type of in-game depth for this type of LFG, and like hats off for moving it forward. You've got to move forward. You got to iterate. You got to break some eggs to make this omelet. And so I'm super happy. The fact that I could just get it done, again, I want to applaud that part. It definitely is going to need some work, because there's some hacks to it. Like when you, I don't know if I brought it up, but like when you form your group and everybody says we're in, they ready up, you go, okay, let's do the final checkpoint. And then you go to load in, and it loads you into orbit alone for a second. You don't see him anymore. You're like, It just happened. And it's like loading you in orbit and regrouping you the way that it kind of is hacked together.
Interesting.
There's little things. And then also, too, if you press like, at least for me, where I was at, I was like, I pressed escape to go back to something. Then I checked my menu and then I couldn't figure out, like, am I still in the Fireteam Finder? And then I made a joke about, it's like, oh, they kind of need, and I know y'all are going to laugh and hate on this, but I'm like, they need Xbox Snap of Fireteam Finder, like that little sidecar of I'm trying to put this together while I'm just playing the game or whatever. And that could be an iteration of it that could be really powerful. But anyway, I want to put out, I really love that it's out there. Use it, give this feedback, because like if we want it, like if I sit here and say I want these other things, well, you got to try it out. There were things I didn't even like realize for a while. It's under roster. You can actually just go under your roster. You can always find it there. I thought you had to like click on an activity and then press find, but it's always in your roster. But the end of this real fast was I did try to do Deepstone Crypt. Finally got my wish of like, I'm like, I don't have Eyes of Tomorrow yet. I really want it. I'm like, let me just see. Is there somebody? And magically, somebody was at putting together the final checkpoint. I'm like, how?
Wow.
Like in the population, yeah, you look at the numbers, you know, and you're like, who is standing at the end of Deepstone Crypt and has the checkpoint? And I got in and like 6 people. I'm like, no way. And then I was like, well, nobody's on mic. And I actually was watching a Rick Kakis video in between because I was like, I don't remember, like, what? It's been so long. I haven't played in years. And I was like, I don't know, we better study up, you know? And then people just started playing, and somebody in my chat was like, how many times do you think before somebody leaves? And somebody in chat's like, next one. And next one person left. Then the next one, which was like, but I was still happy. And that's my point. It's there. It's going to need iteration. And like, there's an example where it didn't work out so well, but I was like, oh, you know, if you could actually earn or just use even a teacher tag, and then I could see like somebody's a guide or whatever. And if, meaning when you go into a raid as an example, you kind of want a guide to be in the mix. Little things like that as they iterate, I think could be really cool, where you feel like, oh, in a world where we used to say you could never do a raid without comms. I'm like, yeah, you could. If you had a guide like you know, Jay Sniperton in there, and he's literally like just on the mic and people are just listening, nobody else would have to talk, you know, and stuff like that. So anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Try out Fireteam Finder. Oh, you know, we got months and months to talk about it, but I've been bringing it up because it's important that we as a community get in there. Yeah, if you want something new to do in Destiny, just try Fireteam Finder. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. The last thing was I did, and this is also where it worked. I did a master strike at 1830, and that's another one, right, where you don't have matchmaking. I'm like, dude, I just want to get one done. Boku rewards, like, but I never do them because I'm like, duh, I mean, nobody's on to play. Like, matchmake, got it done, didn't speak a word, and like I was kind of even dragging with my build, but we got it done, and I was like, this is
mainly what you see in those, is that nobody's got a mic in those.
You can require mic. You can literally, it's got like apply for it, but yeah, most people so far have not been using mic at all because we're proving as experienced players the thing we were like, you know, that if you've got people who already did it, you'd probably be fine, and you can type in chat to correct if there's a problem. But
PC, yeah, it's an option.
Yeah, but again, like one person who knows what they're doing on mic goes a long way. The guide, I think that would be a cool tag to have. So, but
yeah,
anyway,
no doubt.
Everybody in the
Xbox
community try it out.
360 and the PS3 had like keyboards that you could attach to your controller.
Yeah.
I wonder why that didn't catch on.
Briar, you remember the Phantasy Star Online GameCube keyboard
Dreamcast
controller?
Keyboard?
Well, there was that one. There was a GameCube one.
Oh wait, that was like a controller on the ends, right?
It was all stuck together. You couldn't take it apart. I mean, it was literally, you bought it as a Phantasy Star Online keyboard. Oh, it was dope. It was
How much was that thing? It had to be.
I had one. I feel like it was like 70 or 80 at the time. Now it's probably worth a lot. I had one.
It
I
was
don't know.
purple, right? Like the
it was full on GameCube controller with a freaking keyboard in the middle. It was awesome.
So
you set it on your lap in between, and yeah, totally, dude.
All right, Twitter questions. Lone Wolf says, "Did you guys know that there's such a thing called the Microsoft Excel World Championship? I certainly didn't until it was oddly recommended to me while watching speedrunning videos. Basically, esports for accountants and data analysts, and it's hilarious and impressive at the same time. I'm gonna totally check this out."
Bro, do you think that Pornhub analyst is on that? He's probably top tier. All that data.
I want to know if Fran's entered it. Have you thought
It's
about
true.
it?
Oh yeah.
Just working on a pivot table. That's something. I don't remember how to make it, but it is. Yeah, I think they've been on Twitch, by the way. I think I've actually seen that.
Oh,
they've
really?
Even I feel like somebody has streamed or commentated on them
What
on
do
Twitch,
they do?
even so.
Like
That's funny.
I think they take a task, right, and it's who can like
Who
enter
can-
this data as quickly and smartly as possible. I don't know if you're rated for style points or something.
hmm.
It's like, ooh, that's a really nice drop shadow on that cell.
Now that I
It's
think
looking
about
really
what
good.
it really is, I'm less interested.
It's all right. TrueVanguard in there with the control ship drag and drop. He's at the bottom.
Oh no, he goes Comic Sans.
How good would like a clip of like shoutcasting for that be?
That'd be great. I want that. It sounds wonderful.
He's opening it up. He's converting it to PDF live. Oh my god!
Looks like Fran's on Google. He's looking at Google. He's trying to figure out how to do this again. It's been a
He's
while.
integrating Chat GPT. Is this even allowed, TV? What's
Oh,
going on?
he imported a graph. His formatting's all fucked now. It's all over.
Everything's falling apart. Oh, it's a
You
new
hate to
sheet.
see it.
So good.
I got to watch something really weird on YouTube the other day. It was Hot Wheels racing, and what it was is it was in the form of like actual racing telecasts where there were two announcers, like a color guy and a play-by-play
Yeah.
guy, but there were Hot Wheels racing down a track that looked like the quality of this model would be like a enthusiast railroad kind of modeler, right? But it was like a
Yeah.
downhill track for Hot Wheels. It was
Is
really
this like
funny.
a racing league?
Yeah, but
If I search for it, like what's the keyword?
I would think Hot Wheels Racing League, something like that.
Okay.
It was or diecast, maybe. I don't know if it was branded Hot Wheels. It might have been diecast. But I don't know that it was I don't know that it was like actual competition. I think it was just entertainment. Like, I'm going to put a show on that makes it seem like this is a competition, but actually this is just me like getting to build this thing and then racing my diecast Hot Wheels for my own satisfaction and like making it really entertaining for other people. It had like hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah,
That's
I see
great.
one with like 7 million views from 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty
Diecast
fun.
racing. It's amazing the rabbit holes you can go down.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
YouTube is
Like-
insane.
Yeah, like for a while, I think it actually started with like when Facebook first started video stuff. And I only know this because like at IGN, we were doing lots of video stuff that I had to be on that ecosystem. But let me tell you, if you want to watch something fun at night or in the morning even, search for Car Crusher like tech where they're just crushing stuff in this huge grinder.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, the inner kid in me, I was like, this is so cool. And I just was there, I think, for like 20 minutes, like doom scrolling like car crushers and stuff. Oh,
Sure.
it's garbage crushers. So cool.
Hey Blaze says if Tanaris really laid eggs and Riven wears the pants, is the Ahamkara race really a matriarchy where women are the supreme rulers and men are the suppressed minority?
No, I think it is just flipped though. I think it's just flipped. I don't know for sure because I didn't read the lore after the mission thing. I
Island.
just watched that. But I know that I'm pretty sure it's either flipped or they're like flowers and they can be both. One or the other. But that doesn't mean that all civilizations oppress the ones that give birth. Maybe they do.
That's
I don't
just
know.
what we're
do
used to.
seahorses
Yeah,
think?
you're projecting as a human.
Yeah, I don't know if seahorses are oppressing the men. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, like
they just
as
walk
a-
up and
Yeah.
they're like,
Like
"Take
even
the
when you said
baby."
like I think as a human you're like they needed a mate to make an egg or something and I was like just to make the egg? I was like that's not how it works, is it? I thought I knew. I thought I'd make my own eggs.
you
Maybe
do
it's
make
like
your own
praying
eggs, Fran.
mantises where the
Okay.
female eats the male after they have sex.
Mm.
Just
That was
they
great.
make-
Now I'm hungry.
Then they make an omelet.
Well, I assume that Riven's little tentacle things is the pee-pee. And that's how it goes in to, impregnate the man.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he didn't have the long tentacle things, did he? In
No,
the cutscene.
he did not. So
Does he have as many holes as she has tentacles?
I'm going to say yes.
Going down a road here, we won't be able to turn
I'm gonna
back.
look this up on Pornhub.
Wait.
Pornhub.
How much tentacle porn versus video game porn is there on there? That's what we need to know.
Buko16 says, if you were Santa, would you name your reindeer?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna yell at him?
Well, why wouldn't
Onward,
you name your-
faster, faster, Briar
Why would
Rabbit.
you not?
Definitely would
Hey.
have a Briar Rabbit. Oh,
Do
definitely.
you name your dog? I feel like, does Santa mistreat the reindeer?
Yeah, that's a better question. Why wouldn't you name them?
I mean, everybody was an absolute asshole to Rudolph until they needed his ass, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll be nice to you for now." But so I don't feel like they get a lot of respect. And honestly, I would ditch the whole reindeer thing. Like, what kind of carbon impact is feeding and like all these farting reindeers like flying around the world at like 1,000,000 miles? Like, come on, Santa, switch to electric. Jesus.
So you want them to have like just cybernetic like reindeer or
Fake
who
reindeers?
knows? Or just like do you just want them to have an electric sleigh with like nothing fantastical attached to it? It's just an aerodynamic electric sleigh with a couple lights on it. Is this your?
Electric sleigh?
Yes.
Is that what you're going for?
Electric sleigh? Like,
Does he have to stop at charging stations?
I think like even like a Roomba could make something for him. I bet, Except instead of sucking stuff up, it's spitting presents out.
That's right.
Yeah, like old pretzels that in your couch cushions and a button that fell off. That's what you get from the Santa Roomba.
Aang says, kill Bone Mary, Riven, Atheon, a Hive Thrall.
Kill the thrall, marry Atheon.
Marry Atheon?
Yeah, I feel like he's got his stuff together. Like there's some stability there.
You
Something
could
goes
visit
wrong, time travel.
like to
timey-wimey
travel,
locations.
Yeah, time travel.
It was Atheon, Thrall, and Hive.
They were killing the thrall
Riven,
for sure.
Atheon
Riven.
and a Thrall.
Oh.
Riven makes a lot of eggs, so she's probably pretty fun.
She knows what she's doing.
Omelets for breakfast.
She's experienced at least a little bit.
Or after.
I don't know how I feel about those tentacles though. Now that
I'll be honest.
I'm gonna need some clarity on the tentacle situation before.
I think I'm gonna bone the Thrall. I like
Yeah.
it wild.
Check
They
that
seem
out.
like they're
In for
they're
some of
already
that
screaming.
action.
Yeah. I
It's
mean
not
they're
a
already
curse thrall,
screaming.
is
Yeah.
Just a regular thrall,
definitely.
apparently.
I mean, either way.
Blazik18 says, you're at a Christmas party and you just wash your hands in the kitchen. What do you do to dry them? A, use a decorative towel that you're not supposed to use. B, a paper towel. C, shake your hands like you're trying to do jazz hands. D, your shirt. Or E, an animal that walks by.
Oh boy, you're gonna get so much fur on your hands if you do that. Don't do
That's
that.
Right? Don't do
That's
that.
gonna
Just
be
gotta
really
wash your
bad.
hands again.
Joke's on you, because I'm too drunk to remember what I did anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
prefer a hug. Like, ah!
Those Christmas sweaters, dude, they're really like, oh yeah, dude, it's great seeing you.
That could work pretty
And
well.
then like
yeah.
the little kids, you just rest in their hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably shake my hands because the paper towel is probably too far away for me to even get to. Most likely, I'm just gonna be running around shaking my hands trying to get to the paper towel.
How big are the kitchens you hang out in? And the paper towel's too far
I don't
away.
know if they're having a big
Usually
party.
they're-
Probably a lot. Probably big.
Haven't you ever seen Christmas Vacation? It's like that.
It's like that.
I don't
I
remember.
don't.
if
I
the
don't use
kitchen's
paper
ever
towels
shown.
even at my own house. Like I just don't. So like when I wash my hands, I give them a shake and then I totally wipe on like my pants or my shirt.
Very.
I mostly use paper towels to dry my
sanitary.
hands.
I'm sure your shirt or jeans, for example, have nothing like bacteria on them.
I change almost every day.
Why wipe it on your beard or leg hair then?
And
What's
look
the
at me.
difference? Just you know what I mean? Give them a little arm
don't know.
hair. How
I
that
just
dried
don't
it.
want to like use paper towels. I think I wash my hands a lot though, so I would be.
Yeah,
that would
I
mean,
feel like
that's
a
fair.
lot of paper towels if I did that. Grim Invictus, Hive God of Lore says, "Do you think this Ahamkara egg narrative will lead us being able to have them as pets in the future, Or do you think Bungie will fumble this chance and nothing interesting will happen?
Like mounts or just like a pet?
Oh, I want mounts.
That's a huge pet to take care of, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think that I don't think we're gonna be ending up with Ahamkara pets because it's. Let me ask you this: if someone murdered your friends and your friends' children, would you let that person hang out with your children?
I'd probably try to fight them back and kill them, most likely.
So we're the murderers in that situation. So we're
I
probably
would
not
murder
gonna be
any
able to
Ahamkara.
hang out with.
But yeah, maybe you hatch a
How
new
long
one.
ago was it?
You teach it new ways. It doesn't know any of this.
You got Briar's over here like statute of limitations, guys.
I don't feel like anything super interesting is going to be done with it. As
No?
sad as that makes me to say, because there's lots of eggs, so it's right there. Maybe they'll do it to where it's like, we don't need to hunt them again. We could leave them alone this time, and maybe we can have dragon stuff in the future.
Yeah,
That's probably
it sets up the
my
future,
biggest
I
hope.
think, of having more Ahamkaras, because killing the last Ahamkara, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, right?
Yeah.
Cobalt says, "Hey DCP, if you were the star of a cheesy Hallmark Christmas movie, what actor would be your co-star, and what would the movie be about? Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays."
I don't know any actors.
Co-star.
Wait, what was the
Briar.
first part of the question?
If you were in a cheesy Hallmark Christmas movie, what actor would be your co-star?
Oh, it's literally just about the actor. I'm just gonna go with Rahul Kohli from all the Flanagan stuff, and because he's he loves gaming, and like honestly, he's just been on my mind lately watching all that stuff, and I think he would make a hilarious co-star. Dude's hilarious.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know any actors.
What about? I mean, Chevy Chase. Like,
That'd be a good one.
Well, it's got to be an actor that would do a Hallmark movie. It can't be like, oh yeah, be up there, Tom Hanks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I definitely don't know any of those
Oh.
actors. I don't watch Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
I
it's
wrote
like-
off the like PG nature of Hallmark as soon as I heard that. But if it had to be that, that's different.
Yeah. I think we're bringing a hard R to the Hallmark channel. We're gonna like break the mold.
Hallmark Red. it's their new branded channel.
We're
This
bringing the
season,
shoebox greetings into Hallmark.
Something's a little different. A warble and a tilt. A haunting scream.
Kamazat says, "What type of drink and in what quantity do I need to indulge in before I start to believe that my favorite game has a future?" Briar, I know you got the sauce. Oh.
You sipping on an Oberon? Is that what I saw you sipping on tonight?
I've got a
Jug of moonshine? What's down there?
a Miller Lite.
Oh,
Miller Lite. Oh, yeah.
You're one step away from the champagne of beers, man.
Yeah.
Miller High Life, man. You were so close. Okay, that's not going to get you. No, that you need something. Yeah, moonshine.
Moonshine, I feel like is a good Destiny drink.
Yeah. Just be careful if you get some. We don't want you going blind.
There's some whiskeys out there that are late. It's a genre of whiskey they call hazmats. It's any whiskey that's 140 proof plus.
Oh
Lord.
Yeah.
It does that even taste like whiskey anymore, or does it just taste like grain alcohol?
It tastes like whiskey for exactly 5 seconds before you can't taste anymore.
Versus burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a friend that really likes Booker's, actually. Just thinking that one's quite up there. It actually is good.
I've got 3 Bookers right there. 3 of them.
Booker's is one of the best, high alcohol content bourbons out there, probably.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Are there any like space themed mixed drinks? Like
Oh,
sex
yeah,
on the
sure.
moon
I mean,
or
yeah,
something like that?
Yeah, there's tons. There's tons of cocktail recipes. There's a guy named Greg that has a YouTube channel, and he does all kinds of themed cocktails. His channel is called How to Drink, and he does video game themed. He does video game themed cocktails. He's done like a full like Witcher lineup. He's done Starfield stuff. He's done Cyberpunk cocktails, and a lot of times he tries to tie in like actual elements from the games, like food elements, all that kind of stuff. Really cool. But he's done all kinds of space themed ones too.
Nice.
Deletus Kell of House Yeet. I like that. If you had the chance to have a conversation with your favorite actor or voice actor, living or not, what would you ask? For me personally, I'd try and talk with Robin Williams about what it takes to keep the crowd laughing and to give my honest thanks. Love the show. Happy holidays.
Thought of Robin Williams right away. It's funny he should say him.
That is a good one. Robin Williams, I bet you're going to have a good time talking to him, too.
Yeah, no doubt. Is a treasure.
I don't know.
Like some people who I really respect, I don't think I'd actually have fun talking. Like Stanley Kubrick, who like I love his movies, right? But I bet if I sat down with him, like he'd be like, "Who is this asshole? Get him away from me!"
I don't want this man in my zip code.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything like there's people that I'd want to talk to and just be like, I like your work.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really have anything that I want to ask anyone.
I would never like walk up to a celebrity and be like, "Oh, hey, I really love your thing you got going on." It just wouldn't occur to me to do it. Like I'd point it out, be like, "Oh, I think that's that dude from that thing," and then my wife would be like, "You mean Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool?" I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because I never remember anybody's name anyway. That would be the most embarrassing part too. Is I'd be like, I don't even know his name. Also, I don't like learning about celebrities because I find that it ruins watching movies and film and TV for me. Like there's a whole like huge sections of movies that I used to love and I can't watch anymore. Mel Gibson, great example. He used to love the Lethal Weapon movies, Braveheart. Payback, all sorts of great Mel Gibson work. Mad Max. I can't watch it without thinking about what a dirtbag he is. If I didn't know that, I could just live continuously in my ignorance, enjoying those movies.
True.
So I try not to learn anything about these guys, except for Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is a national treasure.
Yeah,
he is.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Joe Commendatore says, Joe, write in. Tell me how to say that name. Commendatore.
Sounds Italiano.
Yeah. What game gave you the best childhood memories of playing on Christmas morning or even winter break from schools?
Ooh.
Melee. Smash Bros. Melee.
All of it? Can we just go with everything related to that?
I remember the Super Mario 64 Christmas was a huge one. That was a great one.
Good choice.
I remember Super Smash Brothers Melee Christmas was a big one.
I don't know what I played on Christmas as opposed to like other periods of time, but I do remember playing a lot of the Soul Calibur where you could make your own character and you could travel around the world map and you'd have like battles that were strategic battles and then actual like fighting game battles. Yeah. And I put so much time. I would definitely played that for probably like a whole year.
Is that just Soul Calibur 2 maybe? Or?
It's so good. It was so good. I spent a lot of time in there.
Your soul still burns.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's funny TV that you made me think of actually very high up there is like over both, the holidays and winter break, like getting together with my closest friends. And we would like this was in high school, stay up really late playing Smash Brothers, like so much round after round. And it was like, it's going on like 2 a.m. We've been there since like 5 p.m. and ordered a pizza kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
So it's hard to beat what that means to you and like just the friendship and bonding you had, but like what a banger game on top of it. Like to this day, you'll say like, "Oh, you could never beat me," and "Oh, I beat you," and like it's still like burned in our memories.
Like, nah, you main cheat. That's so cheap, dude.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
And like one of my friends used to always annoy the crap out of me, like by playing Falcon, and to this day, probably if I see him, he'd be like, "Falcon Punch," and I'm like, "God, I hate you. I hate you so much. You cheese ball." Yeah, he would literally just Falcon Punch like all the time. I hated him and loved him.
I love you, but I will show up to your funeral with a box of matches.
Falcon Punch. Closest casket. That seems a bit much. What is this about?
I do remember getting my Genesis for Christmas.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
And
love
playing
my
Altered
Genesis.
Beast and seeing Altered Beast on the screen
Yes.
for the first time. Like, what a huge graphical leap it was from the NES to the Genesis.
Oh man. Did you talk about the Sega trailer at all? Like
Oh my god.
that week that I
Did
missed?
we talk about that on this show? I don't think we
Because that
talked about it
happened
on
when
this
the
show.
week I was out.
Yeah. I can't remember if we did or not.
I think
I
they
definitely
released even
talked
more
about it,
details,
but-
but yeah. For those that didn't catch it, like Sega is like, we're going back to the classics, you know, Golden Axe, Altered Beast. Actually, I don't know if Altered Beast was in there. Shinobi.
Altered Beast got
like-
announced later.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
They're
the
just like,
Shinobi
this is
trailer
what
was
everybody loved
insane.
about us. Yeah. This is what defines. So we're, I guess, remaking all of those now, like in
Yeah.
whether it's the style of the Prince of Persia or even beyond that. And I was so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I was too. Zachary Richard says, "Hey everyone, Dino Nuggets or Tostino's pizza rolls for an afternoon snack. Both are with a
Totino's.
crisp Capri Sun. Also, Watts, I saw The Boy and the Heron this weekend in Japanese and in English. Like The Father in Englishes and The Nannies in Japanese. What are your thoughts?"
I haven't watched it yet. I've heard a lot of people have been doing that, watching it in both English and Japanese because it's just both are really, really good. So, yeah, I will probably not do both. I'm very bad at watching things more than once.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at that. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things both for English and Japanese. So if you want to watch it in English, you got a good one right there. I know that Robert Pattinson is in it, and people were really impressed with his voiceover work because
Really?
being a good actor doesn't necessarily lend itself to being a good voice actor.
Sure.
But yeah, he did really well from what I've heard.
Dino
was the other question?
Nuggets or Tostino's
Oh, right.
pizza roll. I think this is probably Totino's pizza roll. It's probably auto-corrected.
Yeah, probably Totino's.
Are
Yeah.
Dino Nuggets just for like kids and stuff? Like I didn't even know what they were. I had to look it up.
Are
No,
Totino's
you
pizza rolls for
didn't know
adults?
what Dino Nuggets? They're
Yes.
chicken nuggets and
Where do you like? Who's eating Dino Nugget? These are, I didn't even know they were a thing.
vegan Dino Nuggets. What do you mean you've never heard of Dino
I've
Nuggets?
never. Maybe
They're
it's like
chicken
a
nuggets in the shape of a dinosaur.
TV. You're from the Midwest, okay? Where I'm from, it was Dino Nuggets a thing, or did you need to have like kids in a
I've never
family
heard of
bef-
this Dino Nugget. I've
Dino
never heard of
nuggets are
this.
definitely a thing here in the Midwest for like
Yeah.
an easy meal for your kids. My kids used to eat Dino nuggies. They don't anymore. They're
There you
like,
go.
I don't
See?
like this stuff.
Mom
anymore.
never got
just
me any
chicken-
Dino
They're
Nuggies.
just chicken nuggets that are the shape of dinosaurs.
I know. Now I know. I had to look them up, but
How do you
You're-
guys not know Dino? I'm so.
there's got to be
Never
all
heard of
sorts of shapes of nuggets.
Briar's
and
never
other...
heard of Dino Nuggets
Okay.
either.
No.
I'm gonna go to Google Trends right after this, and
Okay.
Dino
What?
Nuggets versus pizza rolls. What do you think's gonna be more popular? I'd
Pizza
rolls.
rolls,
Easy.
100%.
like 1,000%. I mean, you can't
I
blame me.
don't
But
think
by the
so.
way, nearly
They're
30,000
chicken nuggets.
pounds of dinosaur
No,
shaped
they're not chicken
nuggets.
nuggets. They're Dino Nuggets.
I
They're
mean,
chicken
dinosaur shaped chicken
nuggets.
nuggets are being recalled
Made with real bits
Be-
of dinosaur.
because they may be contaminated with metal pieces. This is best by date of September 4th, 2024. FYI, that's why it's pizza rolls.
Might want to not eat your Dino Nuggets.
Just get a magnet after you're done and kind of.
Just bring them
Yeah, I'm sure pizza rolls have never had anything wrong with them in a very healthy food that's great for you.
Well, they're not filled with metal.
You
Pizza
don't know
rolls-
that.
Even now knowing what they are, like pizza rolls are just so freaking good.
How many
Except-
times a day? I'm gonna have some chicken nuggies.
Oh
They are
yeah, but not
iconic.
dino. Yeah,
They're
not
chicken
just
nuggets.
seven.
they're chicken nuggets.
If
They're
you
the
said
shape of
chicken
dinosaurs.
nuggets versus pizza rolls, I'm gonna say chicken nuggets. If you say dino nugget, that's for kids.
They are chicken nuggets.
yeah,
that
but
are
they're
the
for
shape of-
babies.
No, they're not. They're just chicken nuggets.
Disagree. I don't need my
They are-
chicken nuggets in the shape of.
They are
you know.
definitely marketed towards feeding your kids.
I want my
see?
chicken nuggets in the
Thank you.
shape of like swords and guns and penises.
Yes.
AK-47 chicken nugget.
Yes.
I want manly chicken nuggets.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be caught Dad eating
Like a
dino
throwing
nuggies,
axe shape.
pizza rolls.
Animalistic says,
Making me
"Happy
hungry.
holidays! What game are you going to be playing this Christmas weekend?"
My wife and I are still neck deep in Baldur's Gate for
Baldur's Gate
shared
still?
playthrough. Yeah,
Nice.
we're still doing that. Having a lot of fun with it.
I would-
I'll be streaming on Saturday because I won't be streaming Sunday or Monday. So what will I be playing on Saturday? I have no idea. I don't know. Probably Once Human Trials or the finals at the moment, probably. Although I do want to go back to Wolong again. I went back to keep playing it, so I would like to go back and do more Wolong.
Yeah, I need to finish those games I mentioned before. But another shout out for probably the 5th time in a row is Halo Infinite. Just launched a winter event, and so that means another free pass of a bunch of cosmetics that I've already started working on. And they have like a new sort of. They've been doing all sorts of modes, but Halo Infinite still big fun. I already got like 10, 11 out of 20 levels on that free pass, so
Cool.
It's fun.
I got a copy of Liza P that's going to show up in the mail tomorrow, and I'm going to start digging
Yes.
into that tomorrow. I've been looking forward
My
to that.
Hey, you
game of the
mean-
year.
mean-
Game of the year.
You mean
Easy.
Liza Pikmin?
The only lie
Dude.
is that thing's
Yeah.
ever going to get open.
You're never gonna, dude. I've been playing it in bed. I still haven't beaten it, but I've been like playing a little bit before bed. And I never play I only play games on stream for the most part. But
Wow.
Pikmin, it just works
Fake
so
gamer
well.
Fran, get him.
I know it just works so well though in little bites.
That's been my
You know,
Mario
it's like a little
Wonder
pizza roll.
game. That's exactly how I played Mario Wonder. I play like a level at a time and just then
Yeah.
I put it
Oh,
down.
so you do play the Switch?
I play the Switch a lot. It's probably my most used
Hmm.
console, actually.
It's got some great games.
It's got a ton of games.
Pikmin 4 is exceptional. You know, they only make one every 10 years because like people say that it's good, but then they don't actually buy it and play it. And they're like, I want more original games. I want more franchises. You
Oh,
know,
I don't
and
know,
Yeah.
Fran. That seems
They-
like a strategy game aimed towards children. I need grown-up strategy games with guns and
How dare
combat.
Penises.
How
Penises.
dare you?
A manly strategy game.
you? It's a very adult game, Pikmin. Got me on that one.
Jason Gambudo says, if we had to bake a cookie for each of you like in the dawning, what cookie would be each of yours? I'd be a sugar
From
cookie
the-
because I'm so sweet.
Be a sidearm
And by-
Samoas.
Cider.
That's a good one. You've thought about this.
So wait, is it which cookie actually from, or is it a made up name?
Let's see, Dawning. Yeah.
Can you
are
do
we-
either?
are we
Otherwise, I
doing
don't know the
Dawning
names.
cookies? I could look at a graphic real quick.
But I was gonna say, by the way, last week's update, we didn't bring it up, but they actually did a really nice feature on Let Them Bake. But a bunch of people made really ornate cookies. Somebody made the wish wall, all the shapes in these cookies. Oh my god, it's incredible. You should definitely look at it. It's amazing. And shout out to all these people who just baked
see
their
that.
butts off. Yeah, like they made a bunch of real Christmas treats.
Well,
I don't
Cam
know.
already gave me mine. He said it would be cannibal caramels. So,
That's not honestly. I love a good caramel cookie.
That's good.
the Briar's like, yeah, I can get down with some cannibalism
I'm
if
trying to
it's
look up
caramel.
the
I do like
names.
caramel.
Let's see. Ooh, are hot crossfire buns actually one?
That sounds good.
I mean, it
Yep,
sounds real.
Hot crossfire buns. Yep,
I'm gonna go.
that
with
is
hot.
8 of 1s.
I'm gonna go with those. Either that or the bittersweet biscotti, since I'm Italian.
Are you plugging your buns, Fran?
Plug in my buns. What does that
Yeah.
even mean?
Like, so people can stop by the stream later and see your buns or something?
Oh, plug in my hot
Oh,
crossfire
okay,
buns.
okay.
I do have.
All right. Okay.
yeah. My Instagram is more about that. That's where the hot crossfire buns are.
Does Instagram have the option of like tipping a creator or something?
I mean,
'Cause-
once you're big enough, once your buns are big enough, then you can,
Because you could just plug that to some of your views, probably make $1 billion.
Only France.
Yeah.
I need to get the
You
only
should just
France.
get on it, honestly.
The
Just do
Insta
it.
France. I know.
Just
Well,
do it.
one step at a time. All right. Hot crossfire buns. You heard it here first.
And you can
everybody.
play whatever you want, Fran, because there will be like 2 people who are like, Fran, I want to see you eat buns with your buns out. And they'll give you money all the time.
The new Twitch meta. I don't know.
Yeah,
you
you
can
just
just
get the
put
black
on
box.
like
You could do that.
sensors.
Yeah, you could jump on that. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
And then you can remove a bit of the bar every time someone gives you money to eat a banana.
Oh, just cut one out of like construction
Eat a
paper.
banana.
Stick it to your buns, and then cut it with scissors a little bit at a time.
Yeah. There you go. You got it. I will say Cam and Chad had a really good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of this one. Is you could, some people sell like merch and treats. Fran's hot buns.
You sell pictures of your buns.
That's it's coming to that. But Fran's hot buns, like some cinnamon buns that you could buy online. That sounds good.
Oh. Okay.
Good idea, Cam.
Sounds easier to just take a picture of your ass and
Your
put it on the
buns.
internet.
Sell
than
that, yeah.
making buns to
I think
ship out.
these content creators are onto something with that, actually. It seems to be a good business model.
I'm typing Fran's hot buns into Pornhub as we speak.
Oh, God. I thought you were just going to say Google. No, he's had that open the whole stream, everybody. He's like, tentacle cookies.
Nope.
Tavarian says, what is y'all's favorite Christmas treat? Well, it's Fran's hot buns, obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Pzam says, most nostalgic elementary school juice box. Mine was High C Ecto Cooler. I don't remember having any.
I didn't get
boxes,
those.
honestly.
I had to steal that off of friends who might have had a
Yeah.
Capri Sun or something. I never got like juice
Yeah,
at school.
I don't think I
Sounds so
ever had
sad, but I
juice
just-
buns.
Well,
Yeah, we used to
was
get like
a
the
milk
strawberry
kid.
kiwi high C ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember Capri Sun. Does that count? As juice box?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Juice
saying.
box
Yeah,
adjacent.
totally.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna count it.
Yeah.
But like,
Definitely remember Capri Sun.
That's what I was saying.
again, I never had one. It was always like somebody else had it. I was like, oh, that looks fun. Look how much
Yeah.
fun they're having drinking out of that
See,
bag.
Brad,
They are.
Same,
It
man.
is fun. Yeah, it did
I
look
feel like
a lot of
rich
fun.
kids had Capri Sun. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
little
yeah,
did I
chrome
know.
I didn't get
once
bag.
I graduated to bags of wine, they were in fact fun.
As it turns out.
some Franzia.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Get
Uh,
yourself
Andrew
a bag of
Slade
Franzia
says-
and some hot buns.
Yeah. Andrew Slade says, how can Ahamkara have a mate/lover if the difference between what they desire and the reality is nothing, then they will die?
No, they only
Island.
die. They
Too deep
only
for me,
die
man.
if they do their own
Wish.
Yeah. It like chips away at them for sure. Like it did cause Riven's partner some damage to do wishes without having like a monkey paw thing. But they don't just straight up die right away. So they're saying, how can you desire a partner without killing yourself? Is that what the question is?
Jeez.
Is that what the question is? I feel like that's a question.
It's too
Bri-
deep.
Briar's-
Pryor's like rooting around for.
I dropped my coaster.
It's
I
a
thought that
Briar
was a
rabbit.
cookie for a second. I thought he was going to eat it. He's rooting around on the floor for a.
Says, how can they desire a partner if doing desires hurts them or something?
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
It's really deep. That's
You asked
some
on the
serious
wrong way.
I'm
existential.
too dumb. Ask next week, and Mylan
Yeah.
will answer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He
Yeah.
won't. He won't answer those questions anymore.
He will.
Well,
He'll
That's
answer.
true.
Put a-
He's getting
put
like
a
mad
pin in
about
it.
it too.
Yeah. It's like I don't know anything about the law anymore. You're like, that's not.
He'll
It's
do
not
it.
true, man.
We're
Don't
gonna have to
deny
get
us
He
Nick
still
who
does
you
lore
are.
videos.
guy.
I've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
He's still doing lore videos.
This guy Sim says, what was the best gift you ever got? And which one of the podcast hosts, past or present, would be the one most likely to try to steal said present?
Okay, it's got to
Briar.
be from when I was a kid.
Stars.
There was the Barbie dream house, which was super expensive,
Yeah.
like really expensive. I was like, it's got an elevator in there and everything. I was like, there's no way I get that.
Yeah, those were
And I
big
got that
play
for
sets.
Christmas. Yeah, I got that for Christmas, and 100% Briar would steal it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look
Briar
at-
would-
just put
that's
that
right
all
on.
you need to
Excited.
know.
He's like,
You
yeah,
didn't deny
I
it.
would.
He didn't
I
even. But
would.
did you notice how he didn't even be like, "What? I would never." He's literally like, "Wow."
He's like, well,
Came right
yeah,
at me with that
I
one.
Busted.
would.
Yep. Yep. He's out there sipping his Capri Sun in the corner, which he also stole, as he admitted on the show. I mean, we see a pattern here.
I remember getting it was I forget the exact name of it, but it was like the ultimate beast form Optimus Prime gorilla transformer.
Ooh.
It was like
Oh yeah.
seriously, it was like 3 feet tall. And
Bigger than
it
you.
had like
Yeah.
it came with a book of different things you could transform it into.
Wow.
And
I remember that.
Christmas. That was amazing.
I've got almost the same answer as TV. I got a Transformer. I can't remember what it was. It was kind of like a Robotech kind of thing. It was an Autobot. I don't remember his name, but he transformed from a robot to a plane and then had that kind of like Robotech, like half plane with legs kind of thing going on as well. But what I remember most about it was that I was too young to figure it out myself. So me and my mother like did the first transformation and back. It took us like 2 hours, at least according to my like little brain. It took all day, and we were just like having fun together, like figuring this transformer out. That's really what I remember about it. Not the gift itself.
Nice. Probably Super Nintendo for me. I didn't know if you're skipping on.
Super Nintendo is a good one.
It's hard to beat.
Hard to beat that.
I'm sorry, I lost my spot. Oh, El Beerman says,
Commendatore.
this must be discussed. And Briar Rabbit, are you purchasing them? He sent a picture of 4 pairs of
I saw the
Crocs.
picture. I saw
One
this.
is a McDonald's Hamburglar themed Croc that are like
Come on.
striped, like prison pants.
Should go to prison if you wear these.
I like them.
I know you do.
One is just like McDonald's colors. It looks like a kind of like your ankles are like coming out of the top of like a fry container. One is Birdie, who's like the worst of all the McDonald's characters, and one is like Grimace. I think those are slippers or possibly
they do look
flip-flops.
fur-lined.
Yeah,
they say cozy sandals.
Okay, so like kind of like house sandals, maybe.
Those are the only acceptable ones, but they're.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, I am all over the Hamburglar ones. I think those are hilarious.
Fashion crime, period. All around.
Crocs are great.
$70. Are you serious?
$75.
Wow, dude. Unreal.
No,
I saw
Fran
those
for Christmas now.
Yeah, honestly, if I get Secret Santa for Fran, I'm sending over some Crocs.
Please.
And you gotta wear them for at least a year every day.
I know some people who wear them, like at the gym. I've seen them.
Gym?
I mean, I've seen them updating their photos.
Briar's judging people for wearing Crocs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
How can you disrespect your Crocs like that by wearing them to someplace they're gonna get all fucked up?
Oh, there's for something fancy.
Yeah.
You wear them out for a
fancy
nice
outfit.
black tie dinner. I mean, your Hamburglar ones would go, with a black tie there. So
yeah, the black and white goes with everything.
Jeez.
Blandon McBlanderson says, "What is the best kind of bread?" Blandon, are you trying to start a fight?
Breast kind of.
Did you say bread?
Oh, Freudian slip.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry, with the best kind of what? Bread?
Bread.
Oh, good Italian bread.
Brioche.
Nice. I like bread. That doesn't count. But
that could be dessert breads. That's a good call. I make a lot of banana bread.
Bread is good.
I mean, it's just a good Italian
good too.
Yeah, like it's still hot from the oven, Fran.
Yeah, good Italian bread with a crusty outside, a stretchy inside. It's good for dipping in soups. It's good for a sandwich. It's good to turn into garlic bread. All the above.
Dude, just some Italian bread with a little bit of olive oil and Parmesan and seasonings in it. Just 100% right there.
I apologize, Blandy.
The best bread.
We have almost 100% agreement on Italian bread.
Well, wait a second. What happened? I don't think it's ever happened.
No.
Yeah, that's true. We don't agree on a lot.
Three Bros, One Controller podcast says, how do the Wish Dragons make babies? With the tentacles.
With the tentacles, yeah. The tentacle, the women got the tentacles go into the matching holes, and eggs are made.
They have a plethora of holes for the dudes.
Yep, different sizes, probably, and shapes. Like the kid's toy where you put the square in the square and triangle, it's probably like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can get freaky and mix and match if you want to try.
You could, yeah. You could probably put the triangle in the square somehow.
Yeah. You think Ahamkaras have like venereal diseases?
Definitely.
Koala bears.
Some ST dragons.
Yeah.
STD.
Some-
Hugo Rune says, last question of the night. How do you
Come on.
think Santa's parents felt when he told them that he was going into business of annually giving out presents to all the children in the world? Were they proud of his generosity and ambition, or would they have preferred him to be a doctor and get a proper job?
Oh, I thought we were going the way of like, it's a bit weird that you want to dedicate your life to visiting children's homes at night when their parents are
night.
sleeping.
Oh, yeah, that's a little creepy, right?
Yeah, I thought that's where
Yeah.
you're going. If I was a parent, I'd probably be like,
presents.
you could maybe go in the daytime when the parents are there. You can knock on the door, say I got a
Yeah.
gift for Jimmy. You know,
I guess that brings up a
Bet you
great
do.
question about Santa Claus ontology. Like, where did he come from? Did he have parents, or is he like some
Yeah, that was what was on my
celestial creature that
mind.
was, you know what I mean? Like,
he's
Like,
a
that's
what were-
assuming.
guy.
My
Yeah.
first thought was like, what was his parents' profession then? You know what I mean? Like, if it's
Carpenters,
not
I
a
bet.
family profession, that there's not a
Reindeer growers.
Growers.
Yeah, because it,
Poor little
is he
water
immortal?
Watch him sprout.
Reindeer
You know, I
farmers.
sort of assumed there was always like, there's a new Santa in training, but you kind of can't let him out till he's like 74 or 75. So you kind of just,
So
right,
you're
you
just
just learn.
Santa's
it's
just
like
the
the Red
prisoner?
Pirate
And they-
Roberts, where you just kind of take over for the last guy.
Yeah.
Mhm. That
But
was one
because
of
it
my biggest
takes-
issues with
yeah.
the movie The Santa Claus is that there was no background check. Like, it's like, oh yeah, just
Right.
give it. Tim Allen, you take over. Yeah, now it's
It's
you.
like the Boy
It's like,
Scouts
bro,
of
you
America.
gotta
They'll
be
just
at
let
least a
anybody
little
in.
bit selective, right? Maybe you should ask a few questions.
Yeah.
Like, are you a pedo?
Yeah, let's start with that one.
Yeah. Seems like number one before you go sliding down somebody's chimney.
Yeah.
And once again, we have answered all of, I would say, the video game universe's questions. I mean, we're really expanded past
Certainly.
just Destiny. Really, I mean, we've got food lockdown. We've got video games lockdown. Destiny, we've had lockdown for a decade.
And you now know that at least you're not on Pornhub looking at Minecraft. So
Right.
your life ain't going so bad.
Yeah. If you do
No, good for you.
decide to look up Riven on Pornhub, though, use coupon code Briar Rabbit.
Sort of the market that we're trying to get into here.
Let's see if we can make Rivian make the list for next year's.
That would be an interesting push.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you. Have a wonderful holiday, whatever holiday that is for
Yes.
you.
If you do that.
Christmas
Enjoy your
or
holiday.
whatever it is. And we'll be back.
Christmas or
I think we're
whatever
going to
the
be
hell
back
ever.
next week. We're doing a show next week.
I can
Believe
be
so.
here next week.
I think we're doing a
That's
show
our
next
plan.
week.
The 28th. Nothing happens on the
Mhm.
28th, right?
Exactly.
No things. Things are over.
Pre-gaming for the New Year's Eve
New
party.
Year's. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. New Year's Eve, we'll get drunk, maybe.
All right. Have fun,
Don't worry.
everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.